Hello, everyone. Welcome to another DCU Daily. That's a little bit loud. I greatly apologize for that. But welcome to the show. It is time to rock and roll, as I said in the comments. But hello to everyone joining us. I am John. To all the regulars, welcome back. To all the new people in the chat, hello, I'm John. Nice to meet you. Oh, sorry. But we have, once again, another packed show. Dan, does love his links very much. Of course, we're going to be talking about Superman in London. Obviously, that was the next stop on the big world tour. But of course, we got to talk box office. The newest Jurassic World just came out, so we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about casting and Marvel and all sorts of other stuff, as well as, possibly the Trinity coming together not so soon as we thought, as well as advice for Corenswet in regards to Superman from other great Supermen. So let's get into that and more after our boy, the main character of Project Hail Mary, is going to tell us how knuff we are. So after that, get into the news.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number two.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding. You're kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see Corenswet.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
And I still have that music playing. I greatly apologize. So let me, turn that off. My bad, everyone. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the news. Time to welcome in some people. Nelson Moreno just said, "What's up, everyone? What's up, Nelson?" Somebody very upset about Jurassic World. We're going to be getting into that soon enough, but I wanted to welcome people to the show. Kevin Davis already talking about how, Jurassic World might win the month of July, and is definitely going to be the case, because that's a guaranteed $1 billion, because literally every other movie in this franchise, even the lowest of the low, have won the box office and hit $1 billion. So gonna be definitely the case. But Enterprising, Elite Easy E, hello guys, and Jalen Harris as well. What is up, everybody? But this isn't just about pleasantries. This is about getting into the show. With that, we are going to be talking about Jurassic World, as I mentioned. So, to the surprise and shock of no one, Jurassic World is killing it. Jurassic World Rebirth is killing it with $127 million opening domestically, and a little bit more than $250 million already globally. Insane. I apologize for that. But so also Caleb and Hugo Millie also in the chat. Well, we had a little bit of hope with M3 again not being a box office success, but then we, the cold slap of reality has to hit us in the face for Jurassic World, despite the fact there has not been a truly great movie since the first one. So, dinosaurs, people love them. Hello, Hugo Millie. Nice to see you. Yeah, you are correct. But this was just, who owns Jurassic World? That's Universal, right? So Universal, they just need money. They're like, you know what? Easy money maker. Dominion, despite that being allegedly very horrible. I have not seen it, so I cannot judge. But I've heard nothing but terrible things about Dominion. Even my friend who is a Jurassic Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 apologist gave Dominion a 0 out of 10. So that's saying something. But it is to the shock of no one. It's with 4th of July. This hit the top spot. This hit the perfect prime spot. I think it's gonna make $1 billion easy. I think I don't know how it's gonna place with Superman next week, but God, it's so weird to say that. Superman next week, guys. That's insane. But we are going to be getting I don't know if Superman is gonna place 1 or 2. I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be the first because it's the opening weekend, but it could go for number 2. But even then, it doesn't really matter where it places, it matters how much money it makes. So I will take that with I will agree with that purely on the grounds I've heard nothing but terrible things about Dominion. I don't know if it'll steal a lot of it. Like the pre-sales were great. It's hang on a sec. To be fair, it did earn a lot, and the marketing has been off the charts. And just some geek guy. I think you mean Rebirth, because Dominion already came out. Unless you're seeing it again, which torture much. But so yes. Also, just some geeky guy. We will talk about since it doesn't really have anything else to do with what we're talking about today, might as well just show it now. James Gunn ever decides to explore the multiverse. He should make an adaptation of the 2006 Infinite Crisis story and cast Cavill as Earth 2 Superman. Could work, could be awesome, but I don't think considering how dodgy the multiverse is right now, they're probably going to avoid multiverse stuff for the time being. But that horrible movie probably broke Geneva Conventions, more like Geneva Suggestions. Am I right? But yes, that's okay. Just Dominion is just like so clouding everyone's minds right now that it's just like oof. But but yeah, Jurassic. Again, as I keep saying, to the shock of no one, it's making money apparently for an estimated 5-day debut of 127. Again, this is not for sure, but this is what it's looking. That's the projection. I should have said that specifically. That was my bad. The projection is 127.5. It already has. It's going to be set for 28 million, and it should be getting 250. But again, these are all projections. We don't know anything specific just yet because it just came out today. Thank you, Dan. I hope so too. I hope it gives people what they want in terms of what the Marvel movies are lacking as of currently. I mean, I know they just came out with Thunderbolts, which a lot of people liked. I hope Fantastic Four is good and a success, but obviously we'll see. 9 days until official opening day. Obviously, for the people that are seeing it early, when am I? Is the 8th, 7th, 8th? I think it's the 8th. I think it's that Tuesday. I would have to double check my ticket. But I forget when the Prime one comes out. I think that's Tuesday. But I think
Hello.
I am here. Oh my God, it's Dan. Awkward silence. Dan coming in.
Yeah, I'm here. Oh, well,
There
I
he
was gonna just mention. I was gonna mention about Jurassic World. I saw the Rotten Tomato score is now moved up to 54% with 182 reviews. So it's had a bit of a upswing. So I'm sure that's gonna help. I will say though, I agree with what Kevin was saying earlier that look, Jurassic World, despite we may not like it, the idea that Jurassic that it's going to make the most amount of money. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing: Superman and Fantastic Four, I think, have more of an uphill climb, considering those two franchises' recent records haven't been as impressive. Whereas, Jurassic World, the last two movies all made $1 billion, and 54%. We mentioned the other day, it's still the third highest Rotten Tomato score for any Jurassic World movies, and it's the highest, the second highest of all the Jurassic World movies, because obviously Jurassic Park and Jurassic World kind of the same franchise. And when you combine basically of all the Jurassic movies, is the third highest score. Of all the Jurassic World movies, it's the second highest. The only one that's higher was a 72% for the very first Jurassic World movie with Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. So it's it's on its path, the path that it's meant to be on, and it's doing its thing. Hello, Caleb. I'm here. Hello, Enterprising. The prophecy is indeed true. I have returned. Thank you, Justin Geeky Guy.
Daniel returned.
Give us the opening crawl, But I was not eating. I was actually just trying to get some tech issues sorted out and finish up some other work that I was doing.
But I'm eating right now. I'm trying to eat dinner.
John definitely is eating.
I am eating microwavable tikka masala. I know the poor Indian people are probably throwing up right now, but
as far as Jordan's question, by the way, hello Jordan. I will say it's probably going to make $1 billion. It's the more likely. And again, despite the fact that there's so much hype around Superman, I think when you take in the worldwide audience, especially international outside of the U.S., they love the Jurassic World movies, and the U.S. audiences do too. This movie is going to make probably like 130 million opening weekend anyway, probably more than that. I mean, we just talked about the numbers John did. So yeah, I do think it's going to make $1 billion, like we were seeing from ads at PPIN. Interesting username, easily saying is going to make that kind of money. And ScarJo, of course, PLO. I mean, she's going to be a big part of that. Marshall Ali, Jonathan Bailey.
Oh, hey, come on. ScarJo ain't even close to being as sexy with Jonathan Bailey in glasses. Come on now. Come on.
I mean, to each their own. It just depends on what you are interested in. Like you could like both as well. According to my DNA results, says Justin Geeky Guy, I'm 3% Indian and I'm offended as hell. Here's the thing, every once in a while you might be in a rush. And you might just get yourself something from Trader Joe's, and you could just pop it in the microwave, and that's all you need. And it is
actually from Trader Joe's. Fun fact.
I figured, John. So that is okay. I will not blame you, John, because I personally prefer it, fresh off the stove. But that's all right. Sometimes you just need something that's a quick fix, and you know what? They actually have a pretty good mix over at Trader Joe's. It's flavorful. It's a really good approximation of the real thing. Let's just say that.
I mean, I will say, I know it's not like and plus it's not like all this is like not real like Indian food. Like that's also the case here where it's like, oh, what's real Indian food or Americanized Indian food? So there's that as well. Anyway,
no, I mean it's all good. It's all good. Yes, something drug king. Maybe that could be a movie. Maybe we can get a ScarJo movie where Scarlett Johansson is like like a Queen of the South TV show almost. Yeah, look,
my dad
Superman
started to watch that too.
Yeah, no, it was a good show back. I mean, when it had what she had. Who did it have? It's the person, she was in the Suicide Squad, right? What was her name? Keep forgetting her name. The lead of that show. Great actress. She was also, I believe, in Logan. Anyway, it will come to me. But yes, Jordan, we all want Superman to be great, and I think the hype is there. Look, here's the thing: success with Superman isn't defined by it making $1 billion. That's why we have a lot of people. that would be a good fit. But success for Superman isn't defined by it being $1 billion movie. Jurassic World, it's the franchise is what it is, right? Like it's gonna make its money. And Elite Easy pointing out, hello, Elite Easy, you were the first in the chat earlier. Campia was at the AEW event in Cali tonight and said they were promoting the hell out of Superman's movie. Yeah, we will bring that into tomorrow's show. I just didn't get a chance to add that into what is already a really packed show. In fact, there was this rumor about how pre-sales are slowing down for Superman. I think one of you guys, I think Enterprising pointed that out before the show even started. That too, we will talk about tomorrow in more detail because again, these are conversations that require a good amount of time to get into, and we want to make sure we give it a fair shake. So we will wait till tomorrow for a couple of those things, but don't you worry, I have those noted down. We do have Manos Times photos from the French early special screening that he got a chance to take part in. So he sent us a couple of photos. We will take those and bring them into the show later. George said he sent us photos yesterday. I couldn't find them, so if George happens to be tuning in later, I will check in with him, see where it's at. ScarJo versus Scarface. Maybe that's what we need, John. Maybe that's what we need. But what we do need right now, guys, let us know what you think about Jurassic World. How much money is it going to ultimately end up making? Jurassic World Rebirth kicking off potentially a new trilogy of Jurassic movies with ScarJo, Jonathan Bailey, and Mahershala Ali. Academy winning actors, and it's a movie that's directed by one of the best directors in the game right now. So is it going to be $1 billion film like the previous three were? Certainly the opening weekend makes it seem like it would be, but it has a lot of competition. How big will Superman be? How will it cause a big enough of a drop for Jurassic World to hurt its chances of getting to $1 billion when Superman comes out next week? And of course, then you have Fantastic Four a few weeks away as well. So let us know in the comments what you think about Jurassic World Rebirth. How much money will that make? Are you excited to see it yourself? I know a lot of you guys, despite the fact that it's not a very highly rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes, you guys are going to see it. So let us know what you think about it when you do. In the meantime, we're going to switch our focus to talking about all of those Superman collaborations and the various updates on social media marketing fun that they're having, as we do every day. We got to bring that in at the beginning of the show. Then we will talk about Superman in London and the red carpet event that they did later in the show. So we will definitely get into that. I know that the Black Panther Wakanda, the animated series trailer came out, enterprising.
Nice.
I've been saving that for a couple of days. I will bring that in hopefully later in the week. So that's either tomorrow or Friday. Hello, Frankie. Saying that he's probably not even going to see the Jurassic World movie in theaters because, I guess, 3 times into seeing a bad movie, he's tired of doing that. So there you go. It adds a PPIN. That's quite the name, man. What happens to DC Superman is a flop like The Flash? Great question. They're going to keep trucking on because, look.
That's what they did for the DCEU, and look how that turned out. Whoops.
No, but the thing is, they pivoted that. No, that's not what they did for the what they did for the DCEU was they panicked and then they went sideways and then zigzagged and then opened up a new dimension and then popped into another universe and then tried to circle back into a bowl of spaghetti and all that bullshit. So that's not what DC Studios is gonna do. DC Studios, I think, is gonna want to stay the course. And unless Superman has like a 20% Rotten Tomato score in a week from now, they don't have much to worry about because they've got like 4 other projects coming up, and this Superman movie is looking like it's going to do just fine. So unless things completely turn upside down, which even then, they got to get through the projects they have and coming up soon. And then given that James Gunn is the studio head, he's probably going to just course correct a little bit and say, all right, we're going to do a slightly different version of Superman moving forward. But I don't think they start from scratch or do the kind of panicking that happened in the DCEU. So to answer your question, I don't see the average everyday person hyped for Superman, says PLO. Everyone that I see that's hyped for it are geeks. That's not necessarily true. We have seen some polling, and it looks like the general awareness is definitely there. Also, that's the reason why they're doing the world tour. So there's a lot of people out
fucking going heavy on the marketing. Summer of Superman. Yeah. Like they're doing all sorts of collaborations and stuff. And so, yeah, I think they will. I think people are aware.
Exactly. It's all execution. Hi, Swag fan. How are you doing? Smacky's here. I've been checking theaters near me. People are starting to sell out theaters. Yeah, absolutely. And we've got something on today's show to talk about that too. Superman will be fine. Thank you for the compliment, Caleb. But John, you have our first thing in the Superman collabs and marketing content part of the story. So let's dive into that, shall we? We have a new teaser trailer that comes to us from the India team. So this looks really interesting because it has a lot of the same stuff that we're used to seeing, but there are a few bits and pieces here and there that feel like they're new, at least some lines of dialogue that we haven't necessarily heard before. John, if you want to walk us through this, let's see what we got.
So it starts off with like Daily Planet stuff. We've kind of been seeing this. That guy either has the guy in the background, either it's the lighting or that dude has like a really bad toupee or dye job. Like, do you see this right now? Like, woof.
Yep.
Anyway,
yep.
So
very noticeable.
we finally see. I don't know if we've gotten this.
Agreed, my dream.
Before, but we do have Perry White right here. So obviously, very exciting to see that. So I'm kind of going bit by bit, but it's like we're getting like Daily Planet like bullpen stuff. Like we've been kind of getting that, like this specific conversation of like Clark Kent talking with Jimmy and Lois about, the Hammer of Bravia, specifically, how they're, like just kind of like, oh, Jimmy being like, oh, hi, my dream in orbit, hello, Ron, being like, oh, he fucking kicked Superman's ass. He's like, well, I don't know if he kicked Superman's ass, but you know.
I know we've
But-
seen pieces of this, and I like seeing that we're getting more of that in this trailer.
We did
He's
get
like,
a clip.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if I showed it to you or not. I don't know if I sent it, but we do get like, like we get a little bit more of the kaiju fight right here. But we've gotten these clips before. We get a little bit more of, this. He's like, but the glasses, and then they kiss. Also, by the way, speaking of the clip, like I just love like the comic book accuracy with like Jimmy Olsen just like swimming in women and like just having the ultimate riz, and it's just like, and he's just like, what do I do? And they're like, oh my god, he's so hot. Like I just absolutely love that so much. It's like James Gunn saw that guy. Saw the first 5 minutes of BVS. It's like, okay, I gotta do something. I gotta do something with this dude because he got blatant disrespect. We gotta give him. So like, all right, let's give him women. Let's give him the great character. Let's give him the best casting of all time. So, and then of course, the kaiju fight, him saving the woman.
You know what I wanted to mention just quickly, and when he's
Yeah.
when he's talking to Lois, it's that whole thing of Lois kind of warns him, like, look, Clark getting so many of these, news features with
but
Superman.
I think we've gotten that before.
I mean, I do believe we have seen that before, but I'm like, it's clearly they're not like going. How should I say? They're not bouncing around the elephant in the room. They're literally like directly addressing it, even in the trailers, which means it's probably in the first 30 minutes of the movie where they are talking about the fact that, hey, you know what? Clark happens to do a lot of Superman coverage. It's kind of like Peter Parker gets the best photos of Spider-Man. I mean, people will eventually put the pieces together, So I do appreciate that because, again, and then we have seen that like paper mache thing where Lois is trying to figure out with glasses, without glasses, Superman without glasses, like, so, I mean, obviously that might be before she figures out like that obviously Clark is Superman, but or yeah, I don't know how that faces, but I'm just saying they do kind of go into that in a lot of detail already. So yeah, hey guys, let us know what you think about that. And of course, like Man of Steel Magnolia is in the chat saying, send that like button to the Phantom Zone. We do appreciate that, and that helps us out a lot. Brings more people into the chat. We see new names every day, and we appreciate that so much. Yeah, the new Jimmy Olsen is a bit of a ladies' man, and I do love that part of it.
We do get
that
like,
shot is kind of new.
Shots. Yeah, we got a shot of Lois. Got the shot of like the Hammer Bravia or Ultraman. Can we kind of see that? Oh, that might be a Raptor actually. Like Lex's army where they're into a brick wall. But we also, we got a little bit more scenes of a fight scene with the Hammer of Bravia. So that's also something as well. And then of like, oh yeah, him being like, good luck with that. I also like, we got captions, so perfect.
Yeah.
We did get this shot right here, the flying shot. I don't think we got this before of him getting out of the pit and into the ray of sunshine, which by the way looks fucking fire.
It looks
like
fire.
that, just like,
I think I've seen that once before, but it looks so good. And again, the hair looked great. The hair looks great.
Of course, like we've gotten this, I think, where he pile drives him behind him. Yeah, like that. Look at that. Look how fucking awesome that is.
Yep. Dude, I love that. The moves are fantastic. And I know they shot a lot of this practically. So I mean, some of it looks like they've augmented it with CGI.
I mean,
which
definitely
makes sense.
this shot was shot practically right here.
Mhm.
Just David Corenswet just started shooting lasers out of his eyes, and they just filmed it. It's crazy.
I was talking more about the fight in the stadium.
No,
but
I know,
see what
but
you
like
mean.
I've seen people like make that joke where it's like James Gunn is like it's like a screenshot of an interview. He's like, yeah, David just all of a sudden started flying, and so we just started filming. It was crazy.
It
That's
is.
been a long running meme for a lot of different movies where it's like, where one of my favorites is George Lucas being like, yeah, so Anakin killing those kids wasn't in the script, but Hayden Christensen just started murking these little ones, so that we just decided to roll with it, just keep rolling.
Oh yeah, yep. David is a crazy method actor. That's exactly what it is. That is exactly it, Caleb. We totally underestimated his abilities. He is so perfect for Superman because he is basically Superman. He's a guy playing a dude dressed as another dude or something. What was the line? He's like, I'm a dude playing a dude dressed as another dude.
Other dude disguised as another dude or something like that.
Yeah. That's David Corenswet. He's playing a dude. He's a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. That's exactly. Yeah. There you go.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Holy cow. Okay. This is great stuff, John. Let's keep the ball rolling here. We have we have some more press junket stuff, right? Let me see if I can.
Of course.
Let's dive into the next one because this is from the LA stuff. Because I know in between the two stops they've made, in Rio de Janeiro, Manila, and now in London, or the 3 stops, they did kind of head to LA, and I don't know how they're getting any sleep, at least when it comes down to it.
Nicholas Hoult is just he is just having a good old time. It's amazing. And then that Lois, I know I saw the one for Lex, and I think the one for Tessmacher as well. But I think this is the one, the latte art for Lois, which definitely looks really good. And God, they're rocking it. Cutest.
Wait, go back. I haven't seen this one. Go back. I gotta. Oh, they're just shoes. Okay, all right. I was like, what is that?
And it's
this is great.
And Nathan Fillion and Beck Bennett just like being a couple of cards, and seeing the character posters out in daylight and all that. So definitely, they swung by LA to say hello to our friends BRB, and very, very, very cute. He is adorable. He's too precious for this world.
Yeah. By the way, I haven't seen the James Gunn clip where he burst out laughing. Or I've been watching so many of those interviews. Maybe it's in one of the interviews and I missed it or haven't gone far enough. But I mean, James Gunn loves Nathan Fillion, so I don't doubt the fact that they've come across some really fun moments while making this movie. So, my name is what? My name is who? Okay.
Real Slim Shady. Anyway.
Good question, Smacky. John, you care to address that? What is your favorite movie?
Well, I mean, I don't really have a favorite. It's just the one that's closest to me. I couldn't really give a shit on which one I go to. It's just whatever's closest, and that's AMC. So AMC it is. The closest one, the one that used to be closest to me was Showcase Cinemas.
I'll try to find that, Jordan.
But yeah, it's just whatever I can find. It's just whatever.
For me, the AMCs are great because obviously there's so many of them. They are the biggest movie chain in the world, so there's a lot to just see in general. But then for me also, Cinemark is decent. I've got the Cinemark. I just said Cinemark like I am Irish for a second. I do have a Cinemark movie pass or whatever, the movie club, I think they call it. Regal. I'm actually going to see Superman for my Amazon Prime screening, which John, you were asking earlier. So that's July 8th on Tuesday, right? And the embargo for reviews drops on Monday, the 7th. So on the 8th, I'm seeing Superman for the first time in a Regal in RPX, which is their premium like Dolby format. Cinemark, I have like a bunch of credits, so I'm probably gonna go check out Superman and Cinemark, get that crypto popcorn bucket, and then the AMC that is closest to me, and I've got the A-list membership, so I that's the one that I most go to. So for me, I would probably put it in AMC, Cinemark, and Regal in that order, but like Cinemark being in the middle, AMC probably being the most preferred, and Regal, there's just not a ton of them near me, so. But I do go to them every once in a while.
I have been to a Regal. It's also pretty good. Like it's
yeah.
It's I don't think I've ever been to a Cinemark though. I mean, Bowtie was what I initially
before they died away. There were so many bow ties. I remember
Yeah.
Showcase, like both of those
No,
died away.
Showcase was the one I still remember. Oh my god, I still remember like one of their initial like, "Hey, don't film in here, don't do this." And like again, again, I'm not saying I'm old. I'm only 28, but like I still remember seeing the ads that had "Please no smoking" in the
Mhm.
theater. Like I still remember that ad. It was being weeded out, but like I
Dang.
still remember where it said, "Hey, no smoking." And I'm like, damn, crazy. I was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old, where I was, yeah. So that I was about in like 2000, 2001.
That was when you
Where
were
it was
going to
like,
see Spider-Man in the movie theater, right? Oh, did
yeah,
my camera just die? Oh, I'm back.
nope,
Hello.
nope, you're good. You're
Oh, we're
back.
good. We're good.
Yeah, I was back
Um,
when I went to go see the original Spider-Man.
yeah.
Good
Hello,
times.
Movie Spud. Saying they finally got a Regal and nearby, and next month finally, almost after 30 years, getting another theater. There you go. The one in my town, originally when I moved to the town that I'm currently in, was like a Showcase. Then it got turned into an AMC at one point, and now it's owned by Picture Show. I don't know if any of you guys live near a Picture Show. They're mostly based in the Carolinas, but then they have a few more in the Northeast now. But it's relatively new and renovated, so I every once in a while I'll go there. But like now that I have all the memberships, I prefer to like use those to take advantage of the perks like AMC does and what Cinemark has. AMC has been making bad decisions, which is it is affecting the industry as a whole. There was like an article in the Hollywood Reporter about it, I think today, or no, it was a Variety talking about how they're playing more ads for movies. But now they also are telling you when you go to buy a ticket in the app or the website that the movie starts 25 to 30 minutes after the show advertised showtime. So I suppose that's balances it out somewhat, that you're able to walk in a bit late if you want to avoid the commercials and the extra trailers. But the question becomes, every once in a while it might take them 15 minutes to get the movie going. So is that standardized? Like, is there now is it 25 to 30 minutes every single time? So we'll just have to wait and see if that actually turns out to be true. Movie Spot seeing Superman in a local Regal, and then Ron saying in Southern Ontario, Canada, we only have Cineplex. Cineplex is like the biggest movie theater chain in Canada. I mean, I wonder if Cineplex is owned by one of the other bigger companies or if they're their own thing. Let me see. Do they have a parent company or not? Because I thought they were like owned by one of the other theaters. Okay, so the Odeon is part of that. I think Cineplex is its own thing. Okay, all right. Cineplex, they took over a lot of Lowe's and AMC theaters and Famous Players back in the day. But hey, Cineplex is the biggest, I think, or one of the biggest in Canada, accounting for up to 75% of the box office according to Wikipedia, which take that for what it's worth. Frankie G lives about 30 minutes away from a Dolby Atmos AMC. Dude, that's one of the best movie experiences. I think that Dolby Atmos is probably the best sound that you're going to be able to find for a movie theater these days. So if you were able to get to one of those, definitely go. My Dolby Atmos AMC is like 10 minutes away, so I'm kind of fortunate that that's the case. James not knowing the title of the Batman Part 2. That one, again, it's one of the interviews I'm still in the throes of watching. I mean, because there's like the press junket. They have like a million people coming in and interviewing them for like 5 minutes at a time. But I mean, of course, he doesn't know the title of the Batman Part 2. Matt Reeves is the one directing it, and they probably haven't settled on a title. So they don't quite frankly need a title until at least a year before the movie comes out, and at which point they're going to start to do some marketing for it, some preliminary marketing. So I don't think they're in any trouble there. But it is funny because, again, it goes to show you James Gunn knows a lot as the head of the studio, but still, when you've got a director that is an auteur like Matt Reeves, he's going to do his own thing, and James Gunn is just there to empower him rather than, direct him to do things the way James Gunn would do it. That's not his job. His job is to empower Matt Reeves to make the best Batman movie possible. We got JC in the chat. Still doesn't see the movie making more than 600 million. I don't know, JC. Did you give us? Is that your official number? Because we do have a running list, and I don't know if your number's on there, John. You could check that.
I don't think we have
million.
anybody named JC, but 600 mil.
600 mil. We got you down on the list, JC. You're kind of in the middle there. A lot of people still looking at over a billion.
No, he's at the very bottom.
Oh, is he? Oh my God! All right, JC, you're at the very bottom of the list. That's the lowest.
He is. Well, the very, very bottom is Ron, But then the next highest up are Spec Lovell,
Yeah,
7 Manual 7, and now JC with 600 million. So
there you go. All right, JC. Well, if it does get to 600 million, that's still a success for what it's worth. So even that, I would call it a success. It would be less than Man of Steel, but still a good amount of money. Yeah, I mean, James Gunn hadn't seen the script yet. Peter was reading it. And I don't think Gunn would tell us the title anyway. Exactly, Elite Easy. And to be quite frank, James Gunn is too busy promoting Superman right now to sit down and read a script for the Batman and give his coverage and notes on
Bro
that.
is going from like fucking, London to this place to that place to like, man, like he's like, maybe I can read it on the plane, but it's like I'll probably just fall asleep because it's like the man needs sleep. I think he needs sleep more.
Yep.
Caleb, yours was hang on. Yours is 689 million.
Wow, that's a very specific number. Okay.
Mine's
not
like
bad.
772 or something like that.
What was mine? Mine was somewhere in the 700s too, right? I had a
Yours
very
was like
specific number.
825.
Oh, was it 825? Okay, that's not bad. I still like that number.
So yours was 825. Mine was where is 768 and Liz is 772.
Okay.
So.
Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. Well, without further ado, let's keep the ball rolling
Caleb
here because we do have
changing his. Oh shit. He's changing it to 800 million.
Okay, JC, here's the thing. I want to misspell some like here's the thing. I don't know where you're getting this if you know somebody at Warner Brothers, but Warner Brothers Discovery is not expecting the Superman movie to make $1 billion. I think anything over 500 million would be fantastic because this is part of a DC franchise that still is recovering from a lot of flops in recent times. The Batman has been great. The first Joker was good. Aquaman made $1 billion. The first Wonder Woman was great. Outside of that, they haven't had many hits. So yeah, for this Superman reboot to do anywhere in the neighborhood of what Man of Steel did is a good start. What's going to matter more is how people perceive the movie. If it's going to have good reviews and people love going to see it. So high audience score, high critic score. And if it does decent money, if it does somewhere in the neighborhood of what even Mission Impossible Final Reckoning did, which is like somewhere in the $550 million range, that would be good. It's not about a matter of lowering standards. It's not about lowering standards. Superhero movies also aren't making the kind of money. No movie is making the kind of money today that they used to make in like 2019 before the pandemic happened, because not as many people go to the movie theaters as they used to. Like that, their habits have changed because there's so much more streaming today, and movies are getting to streaming a lot faster. So people are like, back in the day, remember, John, when we used to have to wait at least 6 to 8 months for a movie to get to a streaming service? And before it got to streaming, it would be on Blu-ray, on digital. You
I remember
to rent
when it took
and stuff.
years to get to DVD.
Exactly. Now today, like a movie like Minecraft, which made almost $1 billion, less than 50 million off the $1 billion mark, even that movie, 5 weeks into its release, was an HBO Max. So if you just decided to wait a few weeks after that movie came out, you could have just sat at home and watched it. And that movie made almost $1 billion. So there's a lot of things that have changed. So as far as like box office expectations go, they have to change as well. And yeah, Warner Brothers has spent a lot of money on this movie, but it's because they want to set the foundation for what's to come. So this movie itself obviously needs to do well. But I think what matters more is the critics and the audience reaction more than the box office. But we'll have to just wait and see. I think the big thing, the big milestone it needs to cross in order to not draw the ire of all the fans, or the vocal minority, or just to avoid the narrative that this movie didn't make as much as Man of Steel, so it needs to make more than Man of Steel did. But even if it didn't, I think you can account for all the macroeconomic circumstances, accounting for a lot of that. So I'm okay with that. I mean, look, Frankie G is still excited. It's not going to make less than $1 billion. I mean, Caleb is moving his number up to 800 million. So yeah, Jalen's still calling for $1 billion. So look, there's a lot of hype out there, and I'm not trying to be negative here, and sorry for the rant, but this is the world we're living in today. Like, yeah, you guys are talking about how people were more excited for BBS and Man of Steel and stuff like that, but that was a different time. Like, how many $1 billion movies are you seeing come out every year? There was like maybe 1 or 2 last year, 3 at most. Like And when you go to like the late 2010s, like we might have gotten like 4 or 5 a year. Like we had a $2 billion movie. We had multiple $2 billion movies in recent times with the Avengers, with the 2 Avengers movies that came out. But even Avatar, the next Avatar might not make $2 billion. That would be the first Avatar movie to not do that. People are saying that Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars might not make $2 billion because of the state of Marvel Cinematic, the MCU right now. So it's not just DC, bro. It's movies in general, and it's Hollywood has sort of done that to themselves because they've shortened the window of exclusivity for movie theaters. It's more expensive to go to a movie theater. There's all these other reasons. The economy around the world, in the U.S., everywhere is just not as good as it was. People are still not going to the movies as often as they used to be. So there's just a lot going on, a lot of different things that will affect that. But still, I think Warner Brothers has given themselves the best chance possible given all those circumstances. So yeah, I mean, Swag fan, the pandemic changed everything for theaters and moviegoers. It got more comfortable to stay home and watch a film. Not to mention, I've literally talked to people in my life who are like, oh, I feel like movie theaters are going to die in a few years. And I'm like looking at them and like, you know what I do for a living, right? Like, it's like, but anyway, but like, that's just how people feel. Movie theater going movie going is just not as popular as it used to be. So I think there's a big challenge ahead for Hollywood in general to kind of change that perception. And it's not just a one size fits all solution. They're going to need to do a lot of different things because there's a lot of different things that were done to get us to this point. So they have to do a lot of different things to remedy that. So, but yeah, it would be a bit of embarrassing if it doesn't outperform Man of Steel. I mean, adjusted for inflation is another thing entirely. I wouldn't account for that because inflation, there's more than just inflation. There's the thing of like what else is going on in the world today. When Man of Steel came out, Netflix was really the only big streaming service. Today we have like a dozen others. So, there's a lot more competition for streaming and stuff like that. So yeah, and it's DC Studios' first movie, like Nico is saying. They're coming in with a bang, at least with the marketing. And so far, everybody who has seen the first 30 minutes, outside of maybe 1 or 2 people, and even then, they're kind of anonymous right now because the review embargo, nobody wants to get in trouble. Hello, Manos Time. We actually have your photos from the screening you went to. So he's still calling for $1 billion. But yeah, I mean, the vast majority of people who have seen the parts of the movie so far are talking about it in really high regard. So the best we can do is just trust in that and then just judge it for ourselves. The collaborations will help. There's a lot of social media collaborators. Hashtag WB partner. You can see that all over social media. And yeah, look, we are in an echo chamber. That is completely fair. And that is why like movies like Jurassic World really do well, because they do well with the general audiences, not just with super fans. And yeah, people are not talking about comic book movies the way they used to. But here's the thing: when Superman is the big new movie on the block, and it's summertime and people need something to do, stay out of the heat, people are gonna go see it. And if the movie is really good, then they will tell other people to go see it, and hopefully go see it multiple times. So that's exactly what we're looking for. And I mean, as far as the Snyder cultists arguing like, oh yeah, BVS made more. Well, BVS made more because, again, it was a different time. The first Suicide Squad movie made like $700 million. Guess what? It made basically more than half of that in its opening weekend. So it had a really huge drop. So that's the other thing, John, right? Like this movie needs to not only open big, but it needs to, because then it will have a 2-week window. Because the second weekend, unlike Jurassic World, where it runs into Superman right the next week, Superman has one complete weekend after its opening weekend to make money before Fantastic Four comes out. So if you think that this movie makes like 150 million opening weekend, and if it drops like 90 million, 75 million, whatever, 50% drop the next weekend, then by the time you get to weekend 3, if it still makes like 15 million, add that up, that's already like almost 300 million domestic. You add up the international market number, which might be about the same. Do the math, that's already like $600 some odd million. So $1 billion could very much be in reach if the opening number holds true and the movie is good enough that people keep going to see it again and again. So like Sinners did not have a huge drop in its second, third, fourth weekend.
It was Superman like the highest, or like the lowest drop ever for a movie in like the last like 10 years, something like that. It was like it was like a 6% drop, not even. So
yeah. And you know what? To be fair, though, and John Wick 4 is a good argument for like making money when the movie is good. But the John Wick franchise, I'm sorry to say, like as good as those movies are, John Wick is like a mid-major franchise. Like Lionsgate is a mid-major studio. Like in a sports terminology, right? Like the Pac-12 is a conference of one team. Like it's like, I think
it's like
it's
the thing is
it's
how
smaller.
much did John Wick 4 fucking cost?
Like 400 million or something like that, which is the highest of the franchise. Like that's small potatoes compared to what DC and Marvel.
No, I mean
movies
like
are
the budget. What the hell is the budget of that? Like it was 100
I-
million.
100 million.
Superman is double that because in the
More than
Today
double
Show, or
that.
was it Today? I don't know. One of the morning shows, it revealed that the budget was, they said 225 million.
Yeah.
So that is apparently the budget, adding on the marketing, which is probably 200 million because of how they're marketing it. It's probably going to need 500 to break even, and then it's probably going to need to make $1 billion to be big profit. But well, obviously we'll see.
Exactly. And you know what? Like Superman has been marketed in a way that I don't think I've seen any other superhero movie be marketed for quite a long time. I feel like the last time we saw a marketing campaign as extensive as Superman was Avengers Endgame. They spent like 300 million marketing Avengers Endgame. And you might be wondering why market a movie that is going to already make $2 billion. It's because they want to get more people in the door. That's why they made like almost $3 billion with that movie and became briefly the highest grossing movie of all time. And even now it's number 2. So yeah, and opening is only part of the battle. The 2-week drop will be telling. That's what I mean. Yeah, by the time we get to Fantastic Four, I expect Superman to be past $500 million by the time Fantastic Four comes out. If it's past 600, because where it is when Fantastic Four comes out will determine if it's going to make $1 billion. If Superman is looking at like 700 some odd million dollars when Fantastic Four comes out, we're golden. Like it's probably going to make $1 billion. But the problem is nowadays movies, even like Minecraft, had trouble getting to $1 billion because the movie was on streaming in week 5. So even movies that do really well and are potentially $1 billion franchises and movies, they have a harder time crossing the $1 billion mark because they don't stay in theaters exclusively long enough. Like Top Gun Maverick made $1.5 billion because it was in a movie theater for like 8 freaking weeks straight. Even more than that, it was like in movie theaters exclusively like 4 or 5 months. It made enough money that Tom Cruise himself took home $100 million paycheck because he had like back end points on it. Like it's crazy, but like you don't see that very much anymore. So I hope that they start to kind of learn that lesson and do that more for DC Studios as well. But yeah, I mean, look, DC has to come out with banger after banger, and then right now, Supergirl looks fantastic. Peacemaker looks amazing, even though it's not a movie. It's still going to do well for the DC Studios and the new DCU. And then I'd love to see how good Clayface is, and of course Supergirl and Lanterns on HBO. So yeah, I mean, hey, I think we have we've talked about this long enough, but we will definitely obviously continue the conversation. DC Films was created part of the DCEU, but then DC Films was dismantled and DC Studios was created. And DC Films was also like a subdivision of Warner Brothers Pictures, whereas DC Studios is a sister studio of Warner Brothers. Like New Line Cinema is a sister studio of Warner Brothers. They all report up to David Zaslav directly. So it's like Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm all report to Bob Iger. Same way DC Studios and Warner Brothers Pictures, Warner Brothers Animation, they all report to David Zaslav. So it's a different structure. There's a different authority structure as well. So yeah, the fun and optimism with Superman is what we always wanted to see, and that's what we're getting in this movie, guys. So yeah. So with that, guys, we're gonna keep on going here. I know you guys are excited about all the marketing. And as far as this movie making $1 billion, it would be the first James Gunn movie if it does do that, because none of the Guardians movie managed to make $1 billion. So that's another thing for James Gunn he's probably going to look forward to. But he's never been given the level of resources and just the freedom to do what he has done with Superman. So hopefully that will turn into a good thing for him as well. Subdivisions, what you know about Geddy Lee? Okay. Yeah, so let's get back into the marketing, shall we, John? I know that you were having trouble loading this particular article up because apparently Instagram thinks this next post is not suitable for kids under the age of 18, which the only reason why that's a problem for John is because he wasn't logged into Instagram. So just going to default to that. I don't mean to imply that John is under the age of 18. So with that,
Definitely
though, I mean,
fucking not.
I agree.
Do I look under the age of it? I would be under the age of 18 in like a high school movie in like the 80s. That's how I would be like the bully that like comes in and be like, "Hey loser, you got my lunch money today?" Like, yeah, I could do that. Karate Kid 4, boom, there you go. There, I'm there.
Exactly. But you know what? Like Swag Fan is doing in the chat, I think there's a reason why they put that age filter on this, because holy cow. Maria Gabriela de Faria looks fantastic, and so she did a bit of a photo shoot at the press junket that we have been getting all these clips from. Of course, we got to see more interviews. We're gonna get into more of the interviews later on as well, because there's so many good ones and so many nice quotes. But let me kind of start from the top here, John. So we have a few photos, and she did a lot of like signing like posters and stuff, which they gave away, I'm sure, and then we got the latte photo, of course, which, that poster I still think is one of the better character posters. There you go. She's signing posters there, and I'm pretty sure that's the photo why this post is age restricted. And then the telephone booth, which I'm still wondering if we're going to actually get the telephone booth in the movie itself.
You know what I could see them doing?
Yeah.
Like, it'll be at the very end. Like, he's like, "Oh, a phone booth. Okay. Haven't seen one of those in a while." And then he runs in and changes and then flies off.
Okay, JC, the whole thing about it wasn't a racist comment, by the way. The whole James Gunn, like, he just, people, they were asking about like, online criticism. We actually have this later in the show, so we'll address that then. But just to let you know real quick, he wasn't talking about anybody in a racist sense. I think he just said it like as in, he was like, "Oh yeah, I get a lot of online criticism. Like Superman gets criticized in the movie. Like, anytime you're a public figure, you're open to criticism by the public." So he's like, "Look, so I'm very online, but like every once in a while, I have to realize that I might just be responding to some, somebody who's, typing out a rage bait stuff. And it could be just like he happened to just say a 12-year-old Indian boy. I don't think he meant it as an attack on Indian people or Indian kids or whatever. Like, it wasn't meant to be a direct thing. It certainly wasn't done in a tone that was anything serious. So to that end, it's a very small thing, like the internet always does, blowing it way out of proportion. So I don't think you have to worry about that. But yeah, Ron, the reason why there's an age filter on this is because of how good Maria Gabriela de Faria looks, and maybe somebody reported it. So there you go. Yeah. But anyway, it was taken way out of context, like Enterprising is saying. So there's that.
Like a friend posted that who's been not championing this new Superman movie, but he's been like, "Oh yeah, this new Superman movie looks great." He posted this one thing, this out of context screenshot, and he was like, "Restore the Snyderverse now." And I'm like, really? Like, and then of course, like his like lackey tirades is like, "Oh yeah, this I can't wait for when it gets revealed that this guy is like the leaks come out." And I'm like, really? Like, are you really like, you're acting less mature than the 12-year-old Indian kid that doesn't exist? So it's like, really? Come on.
And no, JC, I don't think it would have made bigger scenes if he said, black. It literally doesn't matter what he would have said. Plus, there's no point in arguing hypotheticals. So with that said, though, Frankie G saying he was pointing out random people who like to argue with him. Exactly. That's all we need to worry about. That's literally all that was to it. Nothing more, nothing less. And the internet always, of course, trying to turn that into something that is really not there. So, but speaking of what's there, Maria Gabriela de Faria, MGDF as I like to call her, and more of the photo shoot. And of course, she did the press junket. Just wanted to show this off because, of course, not only was she looking good, but I'm sure she was feeling good. And she gave some great quotes in the interviews, which we will keep going over as the days go on, because not only was she there, we had the rest of the Superman cast, including the Daily Planet crew. But John, talking about the Daily Planet crew, let's talk about Michaela Hoover, because she also posted some photos from day 2 of the press junket.
These are safe for work, so
apparently they are. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a fine line somewhere, and it wasn't crossed here, at least according to the folks who might have chosen not to report it. So there you go. This is the thing about community notes on social media that I don't like. because it really, you don't want to leave that stuff to just the average folks, and because then that kind of thing happens. Anywho, that's a whole side thing. Cat grant me 3 wishes. I think a lot of people are probably going to be saying the same thing. So,
there it is, the lattes.
The lattes. Gotta get me some of that latte. This is a loop, by the way. So, and I swear I watched that on loop 5 times before realizing that it was a loop, because I was like, wait, nothing is happening. Why does she keep looking back at me over and over again? And I was like, oh, okay, all right, I got caught in the trap. So there it is. But anywho, let's keep going. Ron saying Indians are super hyped for the movie. They don't care what James Gunn said. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not even a matter of they don't care. I think they know that it wasn't anything like significant. And we were talking about just yesterday. They have a huge bridge in Canada, not Canada, in India, where it was lit up with Superman, posters and stuff. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, hey, she's gonna be Chopper, Michaela Hoover. She's Chopper in the next season of what am I forgetting? The anime come to life. Somebody tell me. Michaela Hoover is Chopper in
One Piece.
One Piece. Brain fart. Okay, move on, John. Let's go to the next thing. Let's go to the next thing.
Let's move on to the next thing. Here we have
a look at the Hot Toys figure, John. That's an early look at a Hot Toys figure for Superman. If you guys are not familiar with Hot Toys, these things are the most accurate reproductions of characters and costumes you're gonna ever get your hands on, and they take usually months after all the merchandise comes out to bring their release their stuff, because of how detailed and accurate they are. So this is an early
Sideshow is also very good.
Yeah, and this is like an early version of that. So they got this flown out from where they make. I think they make them in Australia or something like that. So they got these flown out for the press junket, and everybody's sort of admiring it. Brandon David was like, "I got this out here for you guys to take a look at," and David Corenswet is like, "That is not me. That is Superman right there. I mean, that's so realistic. I mean, it's great. And these things do cost a good amount of money. It's not like you're just buying a Funko Pop. So I think they cost like hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, depending on how much you want to go for. But John, the Hot Toy figure looks fantastic. What do you think?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we exactly, Ron. We can't cover everything in one day. There's literally so much Superman marketing. If you look at our rundowns for the show, it's like a book. Every day it's like a book, and it's today most of the show is Superman. We haven't even gone through like 20% of the stuff we got to go through today. So there's so much to go. But yeah, I mean, Frankie, if you had the Henry Cavill one, get yourself the David Corenswet one, because you know what? We have a lot of Superman actors working together, giving each other advice. That is part of today's show, and you know what? We should celebrate all the different actors who have played Superman over the years, because it's not an easy job. You're under the microscope. We keep talking about it. So good on these guys for being able to pull that off. So yeah. Exactly, enterprising. Warner Brothers is very confident in this movie. Let's keep going, John. Let's see what we got next.
Let's go. Sorry, I had chocolate bar.
All good.
This
is so relatable. Look, I'm not Latino, but I'm like, I definitely can relate to this, because I literally, that sometimes you just need some, a friendly interference to not take a beating when you're growing up. I definitely went through a few of those.
I mean, if you got the chocolate,
it wouldn't be because you have a bunch of air, well, what do you call those, like oxygen tanks flying at you. Usually it was because somebody else who was a lot hotter than an oxygen tank was coming at you, and your abuela got in the way. It was like, I got you, don't worry, don't hit my little baby. So love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I think that like Italian kind of grandmothers are kind of the same. Hey, shut the fuck up, it's like that kind of vibe.
Absolutely. Look, and it goes to show you there's a lot more that is we have in common than we don't, depending on where you come from and which part of the world you live in. But this was hilarious though. not hilarious. This is actually wonderful to see, John. The costumes, like they've already got them in the archives. Like this is not even a movie that is, well, the movie isn't even out in theaters yet, but we've already got these costumes in the archives, and they're gonna save them for as long as they can. You can see all the stuff in the background that they've got from movies in the past wrapped up, and it's amazing. It's amazing to see that one day we can go see these. If you guys do a tour of Warner Brothers backlot, they will cycle these out of like the museum that they have there that you can go to see during the tour. So I'm sure they'll have these up for people to go see at the Burbank studio backlot tours, and they look great. And we get a much closer look at it. Obviously, we'll see how they function in the Superman movie. So they look good. They look good. And for the first time, you've kind of seen these characters come together in a uniform that where they still have their logos and their own colors, but they're all part of the Justice Gang, which clearly we'll probably see evolve into something different later on. So Man of Time saying, I remember Michael Rosenbaum saying he's down to do a Lex Roundtable. Plus, a lot of Supergirl actresses are wishing good luck to Millie Alcock. Yeah, I hope they do one of those actors and actors things. And as far as Manos, your question about doing a Superman reunion for when they stop by in LA, I don't know if they would do that now. Maybe they will do something like that at Comic-Con this year or something to that effect, because it's a matter of availability. Like Henry Cavill is busy doing other stuff. Tyler Hoechlin is busy doing other stuff. Like they're busy with other projects. And I'm not saying that doesn't mean they can't make time. It's just about like, being able to get time on their calendars and getting everybody in one place. So maybe down the road, I just don't know if that's going to happen at the Superman tour this year, because it's hard enough for Warner Brothers to like manage to get everything, with the actors on the movie themselves. I bet you the LA premiere will have pretty much the entire cast there, unlike, when they're traveling abroad. But I don't think we're going to get previous Superman actors there. I'd be surprised, pleasantly surprised, but I wouldn't count on it. So there you go. Enterprising. Wow, that's quite the heritage you got there. Hello, Antonio, in the chat, saying hello to everybody. How are you doing today? So, but John, you remember this statue hanging off the shard? I didn't. It is still there. I mean, I didn't realize how big it was. I was like, it's how tall? It's 11 feet tall. It makes sense that it's 11 feet tall.
For a lot of people, he'd be the perfect Superman because he's got that height.
He's got that height. You're right. He's got that height. But dude, 11 feet tall. I didn't realize it was that big. It makes sense though, considering how far away they are from this. Like the Shard is the biggest, like the tallest building in London. So I guess if there was any smaller, you wouldn't be able to see it as close as clearly from afar. Like if you're on the street, you look up, like the movie tells you to, you will get to see Superman. And I mean, yeah, it makes sense. He's 11 feet tall. Maybe he will end up, that statue will end up in the WB archives as well, which would be great. So yeah. Yeah, get him on top of the CN tower. That would be great. That would be great.
Network tower?
No. Thank you, John. Thank you. You're trolling. I get it. Don't worries. Antonio, we haven't gone to the Henry Cavill advices, David Corenswet yet, but I see what you're putting down. But John, they're also, of course, taking over New York, even though they haven't quite done the New York premiere yet. They have filled up all of Times Square with Superman posters. You can see here, if you click over to the next photo in this post, they kind of show you like this, almost like this panoramic view. Actually, several photos. You can see that they're in Times Square, different parts of Times Square. And a lot of these are not even digital posters. They look like they're just up there. I mean, on buses and stuff. It's
there.
Exactly. If you look up in Times Square, everywhere around you, you got Superman posters. So
I think this one right here, that kind of looks digital.
Some of these are digital billboards because I mean it's Times Square in 2025, right? So, but like the bus one obviously is not digital. So, but it's great.
I mean, if there was a digital one on a bus, I'd be impressed.
I'm sure in the next 5 years we'll get to that point. So, but yeah. Oops, I opened the wrong link here. Let's see. Lost track of where I was. Anyway, Pizza Hut. Okay. Superman and Pizza Hut are collaborating. I think one of you guys sent this. Whoever sent this to me on social media, take all the credit, man. I forgot. I'm gonna definitely try to get find the name of the person. But not only do we have all these deals, but people can actually get themselves a Superman themed pizza box. John, if you got one of these, would you keep the box after eating the
I'd
pizza?
keep the well, I don't know how I'd clean the box because that's like cardboard. I mean, you could scrape all day, but that thing's gonna fucking smell. So I don't know if you just like spray a shit ton of Febreze in there or something. But yeah, maybe I would just like keep the top part with no pizza on it. But like the thing is, that would involve me getting Pizza Hut, and I mean, I have some standards, like so.
Well, there isn't a Pizza Hut near where I live anyway, so I don't know if I can even if I wanted. I actually kind of like
Super.
Pizza Hut for once, like maybe once every other month or something like that. Like it's I will say growing up it's a bit of a guilty pleasure still. So, but having said that, there's no Pizza Huts near me, so I can't even if I wanted to.
Speaking of food,
Speaking of food,
they were talking about the Food Network posted something about food, but just another cute little thing about just like cute food question. And again, we're on the subject of food. It's getting me I just ate and it's getting me hungry again. So like god damn it.
I love that they're like Scarlett Gazando's like getting a dessert at the restaurant after your dinner is just not worth it. It's always like you get something that's not worth the money that they're asking you to pay for it. And Michaela Hoover is like, I think that is the most controversial opinion, and I do not agree with you whatsoever. Even though I personally feel like what Steve Lombard, again, what is his name again? The actor Beck Bennett, what he said was much more like I'm like, I really don't agree with you, man. But anywho, what do you think about it, John? Which of the two opinions do you agree with?
I say Michaela Hoover because she's hot. That's it.
All right, great. Of course, Sean. Of course, that's what you would say. Jordan loves Pizza Hut. Ron loves Pizza Hut too, by the way.
Speaking
go
of
to the
food,
supermarket, get a
there's
cup
lot
of Turkey
food
Hill.
things
A lot of
today.
before we get to the food thing quickly though, John, what do you think about the shade of blue that they use for Superman? I personally think it's great. It's
amazing.
Harkens back to the Christopher Reeve version, so I like it.
Perfect. I like what I would personally, again, if I was directing a Superman movie, if I were to pick, like, I love the look, I love the color scheme. Again, I just hate the lines, the collar, and the weird cape. That's it. I would say if I were to pick, I would love to have a royal blue, a scarlet red, and like a yellow mustard yellow. Like that's like I want it to look, and that's what they're kind of doing here. It's more subdued a little bit, but I want like gaudy. It's like I remember my friend who is not seeing this because he hates James Gunn. He's like, yeah, all these colors look gaudy. I'm like, yeah, it's almost like it's a comic book movie or something. So it's just like it's just like I hate the look. It's just like, yeah, I want it to look kind of gaudy. I want it to look kind of like in your face color. Like the closest to a Superman suit that I would have loved to have seen is the Nick Cage Superman suit. That is the suit that I have wanted to see in like live action on the big screen. Like that would have been like the best looking suit ever. Like I outside of like the thong they had, it was a super thong instead of like the trunks. But outside of that, it was like near perfect. Like the suit looked good, the crest looked good. Honestly, Nick Cage looked good in it. Like even though he had like the longer hair, it still looked good. Like that movie it probably would have sucked, but like it would have been at the very least an interesting level of suckage. So I'll give them that. So yeah, I think yes, that is true. Going back to the Guy Gardner thing in terms of yeah, good times, good time. It's funny to see. I will say it is kind of funny to see like converted Pizza Huts that are like Pizza Huts that went out of business and then they had to be converted to something else. And that's a lot of like money to put into repairs. So it's like you just see the Pizza Hut looking building and then it's like a veterinary hospital or something. Like I remember when I would visit my grandparents after a while, the Pizza Hut that you would have when we would get off the highway we could always see the Pizza Hut that was right there. Eventually went out of business because shit happens. And so it got turned into I think it was like an animal hospital or like a clinic or something. And it was just so funny to see like this thing that's a very helpful thing, like a clinic, make sick people get better, all that stuff. But it's just funny. You laugh at it because you just see the fucking like Pizza Hut roof that's like now like an ugly gray or blue, and it's just like that used to be a Pizza Hut, and it's just like it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, they still have red ends out there, which not the same thing, but anyway. Nick Cage, his receding hairline they could have done a little bit more with, I think, but anyway. All right, okay, PLO and Ron, please be civil in the chat. It's okay to have different opinions. We'll all see how the movie does next week. The costumes in the Burton movies were pretty good for Batman. Royal blue, bright red, sunny yellow, classic Superman suit. Yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll get that in a Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. But you know what, John? I never thought I would see Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern other than in a Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. But here we are. He's in the new DCU. He loves himself some Fruity Pebbles. In fact, it looks like this shot is from the movie. If you go to the next image in this, they show that like they actually filmed this as part of the movie. So Guy definitely loves. It's
got to be for
Pebbles.
like I think this has got to be like for like a commercial. I can't imagine that something like this would be in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is, I'll laugh. Like, I mean, you got like douchebag, blonde-haired fuckwads loving their milk. But I think it's safe to say Guy Gardner is not as much of a piece of shit as Homelander, and I think he prefers milk from a cow rather than a human.
No,
woman.
we don't need to go there. We don't need to go there.
I'll go there because fuck Homelander and fuck the boys. Terrible show. Anyway. But yeah, gotta love Guy Gardner.
But hey, you know what? While he loves his Fruity Pebbles, we do have some other stuff to get into as well, because Lex Luthor might be losing his love, or losing love, his love, whatever you want to call it. Because Cat Grant, who's the gossip columnist over at the Daily Planet, seems to think that maybe Miss Tessmacher is not so much in love with Lex Luthor anymore, because Lex Luthor is a bit of a workaholic, and it seems like Miss Tessmacher has been seen at public events by herself or with other company, which is interesting. I mean, John, do you buy it? Do you think this is just gossip that Cat Grant is coming up with, or will we actually get to see Sarah Sampaio's Miss Tessmacher sort of, I don't know, betray Lex Luthor in the movie?
I mean, possibly. I mean, it could be teasing something where it's like, like she's kind of realizing how fucking.
It's a very good question, man.
Jimmy
I don't know.
Just really good at his job. He's a very good photographer. Like
he must have like Harry Potter's invisibility cloak. He has Harry Potter's invisibility cloak. He just like shows up everywhere that he needs to be. And he probably also has that time device, that Hermione has.
I just realized something about him. Because the thing is, I thought of so when you said the invisibility cloak, I thought of, also the invisibility cloak from Lord of the Rings. And then I thought of the scene from 17 again with Thomas Lennon. And I realized Beck Bennett is kind of a discount Tom Lennon a little bit. Like he's kind of, in terms of the look and like overall vibe, he kind of looks like Tom Lennon a little bit. I don't know why. I just throw that out there. Maybe people agree with me, maybe they don't. Just something that I found to be interesting. Just that's how my train of thought goes. That's how the Tism brain goes. At least I think. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Who knows?
It's all good, man. It's all good. My brain scatters all the time. So, yeah, Jimmy has Spider-Man's powers, except he doesn't have powers. I don't know. Good question.
Well, it depends, because Jimmy Olsen has been Elastalad in the comics, and he at whatever point they could bring that in. He did say it would be very Silver Age, and he did get those in the Silver Age. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully Lex Luthor. Not hopefully. Why do I care? I mean, whatever. We'll see how well Lex Luthor and Miss Tessmacher get along in the movie. from everything we've seen so far, she's pretty aloof as is, and Lex Luthor is the exact opposite of that, very calculated and measured. So I don't know, maybe what Maria Gabriela de Faria said about, what Lex Luthor and the Engineer get up to at night might be true after all. We'll just have to wait and see. I still find that to be one of the funniest things I've seen in the entire marketing for this movie. Anyway, sorry, let's keep going. I love the chemistry thing. They're like, oh, look at the chemistry, so sweet. And then Nicholas Hoult is like, oh yeah, that's us. I thought you meant, that's what I thought you meant.
Honestly, all of Lois Lane, her husband and his boyfriend. Yes, that is exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's the thruple chemistry, as they say in the comments there. Yep.
Very much so.
Lois Lane, her husband, and his boyfriend. There you go. It was just Pride Month after all. Anyway, so let's keep going.
And then speaking of something for the
seats selling out at your movie theater. The seats are soaring fast. Get your tickets now. I have seen it's filled up. I was trying to get for F1 tickets and they were filled up, and then I was like, let me see what else is going on with Superman. And Superman theaters.
Dick M3gan F1 is cinema. Let's go.
I mean, you could tell that people are excited about this. They're getting their tickets ahead of time. Like the pre-sales for Superman broke the record for the year that was only just set by Fantastic Four like a week before when it did. So just on July 8th alone, this movie might make like 10+ million. Not to mention, then you get to Thursday, and then so on, and the weekend itself. Where's the marketing? Exactly, Caleb. Where is the marketing? Because clearly we can't see it. But anyway, let's keep going here, because now as we move forward from Superman. But before we do, let us know in the comments what you think about all the marketing for Superman, all the different collaborations that they're doing. We'd love to hear from you. But right now, we're going to move into the Quick Hits part of the show, shall we? So let's hit up that Quick Hits Bossa Nova elevator music, John, and let's dive in, because we have quite a few quick hits here. The very first thing, South Park 2027 premiere date has been pushed by Comedy Central amid a streaming deal uncertainty. The series creators have reacted, saying that merger is pretty much a shit show, and so, it's kind of causing them a lot of trouble. We have kind of noted this recently with another story, where they're trying to get a new streaming deal with maybe a Netflix or an HBO Max, and Paramount new potential owners keep getting in the way of that. So the creators of South Park are not happy with the studio that helps them put the show together. So, John, your thoughts on this?
I don't watch the show, but it's sad to see like such an iconic show getting caught in like studio politics.
Yeah. I don't know if it's me, by the way, but I think, John, you might be cutting. You're cutting up a little bit there. So.
Oh, I apologize.
No, now you're good. You're back. There you go. You're back.
Okay. Because you can see the Wi-Fi. Well, at least me and you can see the Wi-Fi signal in like the top left corner, and it has been very low as of late. So it says it's on my PC, it's like Wi-Fi is all the way to the top. But for
I don't know. Well, you're coming in blurry on my end, so I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't know if I'm looking clear on yours, but exactly. Caleb's like nice auto tune.
You sound like a robot on my a little bit, so I was like,
really?
Are you good? Am I good? I don't even know.
I don't know. Maybe I guess as long as you guys can hear us, that's all we need. But yeah, South Park season 27, the premiere just got pushed back. I guess we'll just keep trucking along here, shall we? So you can call me Mephisto. John, there he is. Finally, we got Mephisto, Sacha Baron Cohen. That whole scene pretty much ends with like Riri Williams being like, am I supposed to know what that means? Like, am I supposed to be impressed? And I don't know. Do you care for Mephisto? I feel like they missed the boat on this. It doesn't make sense for all the shows they could have put him in. Like, this is where they bring him in with Ironheart. Like, I get how they were trying to put it all pieces together, and I know Hugo, you love the show.
Like,
so like
fucking
good for you, man.
Steve Coogan as Hades in the god awful Percy Jackson movie. That's the vibe I'm getting here, and that's not a good vibe to have. So yeah, this looks very dumb.
Yeah, it's just
this is the ending that everybody was raving. Oh yeah, really?
Yeah,
that's the ending. I'm like,
it is.
You sure about that?
He should have been here before. He should have been in the multiverse of madness, WandaVision. I don't know, like he might have been, in my opinion, he would have made more sense in Vision Quest, given how that connected to everything else. But here we are. Mephisto's here. Hugo Millie says the show was great. I haven't finished watching it, but I mean, obviously, I got it spoiled for me, which is fine. But yeah, they should have put him in Doctor Strange too. So, anywho, I guess we'll just wait and see what this turns into.
That would have been a good twist where it was revealed that like Mephisto was, you know, like fucking up with
it does make sense,
like that. Yeah,
they hinted at the devil a lot, and so that, you know, but it's one of those things where clearly, like, these Disney Plus shows are not as popular as they used to be, and people wanted to see Mephisto back when, you know, we were still doing WandaVision years ago at this point, and then, you know, then Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Agatha all along, another one. But yeah, I mean, here we are finally.
Ironheart, sure, here. Shove him in there. Okay.
You wouldn't have thought that's where they would introduce him, but I guess here we go. It's not as bad as Secret Invasion. Ironheart is better than nothing is as bad as Secret Invasion. It is a bit late, like you said, PLO. It's a bit late. Subvert my expectations, John. Subvert my I can't even say words. Yeah, we all thought he was Mephisto, and he wasn't. Yeah, his design will be pretty creepy. Well, maybe
that's just Sacha Baron Cohen being Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, maybe they will. I don't know, when they have a bigger budget movie out, they'll give him the more comic booky design. But yeah, I mean, Swag Fan doesn't mind seeing him. You know, didn't expect the choice. Doesn't save the show, in my opinion. Good ending. So there you go. Exactly. It wasn't like it elevated the show so much, but you know, as they say in the comments down there, the devil is in the details. So there we go. Ant-Man Quantumania is Dan at Also Curious. Yeah, that's true. I do have a multiverse of things going on in my head at any given point in time. But John, speaking of things going on at this time, it looks like Neil Druckmann is set to exit the Last of Us series after season 2. Split, and they're calling it the split. Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin going their separate ways after a divisive season 2, of course, which covered the majority of the second Last of Us video game, but they're going to continue that on with season 3. Here's what Druckmann said in a statement: I've made the difficult decision to step away from my creative involvement in The Last of Us on HBO. With work completed on season 2 and before any meaningful work starts on season 3, now is the right time for me to transition my complete focus to Naughty Dog and its future projects, including the writing and directing our next exciting game, Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, along with my responsibilities as studio head and head of creative. And then, you know, continue on to say that, you know, he wishes Craig Mazin and everybody else well, and it's been an honor and a career highlight and all that. But John, so the simple question is, do you think there was a bit of a fallout between the two of them? Was this actually, you know, amicable, or do you think they just ultimately didn't agree?
I think they're kind of realizing that Neil Druckmann isn't the fucking like cardinal genius that like everyone kind of pumped him up as for years, and they're like, oh hey, the game that everyone said sucked, it was adapted into our season 2 that everyone also said sucked. What's the commonality here? Oh yeah, this tool. So yeah, let's get rid of him and hope maybe we can write a better second half of this show and maybe improve upon the terrible game that many claim it is. Could be the greatest game of all time, I don't know, but according to many people, it is not a very good game. So, you know, I mean, a man can dream, and remember, according to Superman, dreams save us. So, you know, we can all hope and pray that Neil Druckmann will get hit by a truck in the coming future. So, you know, it's that's how it is. Obviously, my lawyers are saying I have to say that's a joke. I don't wish death upon anyone. I'm just saying, let's just hope that he also leaves Naughty Dog. But like, I feel like that company is just too down the shitter that like the only thing that would stop that is just close.
I personally think, here's what I'll say. I think the show will be better for not having two showrunners, because now they just have a singular voice, and Craig Mazin has done some great work in the past, and now that he doesn't have Neil Druckmann alongside him, maybe that frees him up to pursue just his ideas, because clearly it seemed like they might have been butting heads, or it just wasn't working out where they were, you know, trying to put both of their ideas together into something that made sense. So And season 2, the ratings did go down after the Joel episode, because of course they did. Because even people who didn't play the game were like, wait, you just killed him, and then the way that you did it, and then Ellie basically becomes a villain the rest of the season, like the way she behaves. It's like, to the average person, like the math isn't mathing, you know? It's like all of a sudden the show, it's not even like a Game of Thrones situation where at the end of season 1, you know, you kill off the main character, but like that show evolved in so many different ways. I just don't know if The Last of Us has the ability to kind of, and like you said, John,
not played by Tom Holland, so you know.
Yeah, like people didn't like it in the video game. They should have made a different choice, or at least like they kept hinting, oh, we might keep him around for another season and a half, and then boom, season 2 episode, what was it, 2 or 3, they kill him off, and it's like, okay, great. Like, why?
So you're a
and,
fucking liar. So that was a fucking lie.
That was a lie. It was a lie. But anyway, moving on to the next thing. Bella Ramsey.
Anyway.
Speaking of The Last of Us, Bella Ramsey has landed the lead role in Channel 4 thriller Maya, with creator Daisy Haggard making her directorial debut in the show. I hope this thing airs in the US. I don't know if Channel 4 has a deal with like Peacock or HBO, but Bella Ramsey's got her next role, John. Would you watch Maya?
I would have to see what it's about and see a trailer or something, so maybe.
Yeah, it looks like in the show, the pair of these actresses, their characters live in London and are forced into a witness protection program with new identities in a small rural Scottish town. All right, well, now I have to watch it. I actually do like the premise. The trauma of their past continues to haunt them as they attempt to settle into a new life, with 2 hitmen intent on tracking them down. That sounds interesting to me. I would watch that. This could be good. I agree with you, Ron. This could be good. I mean, we're in the US, so I don't know. I don't know where this would air in the US. Maybe on a streaming service somewhere. So we'll find out. All right, moving on to the next thing. Highlander has got a new cast member because industry breakout. You know, she was in the show Industry. Marissa Abella has joined up the movie with Henry Cavill, and of course, we also know Russell Crowe is in the movie. So if you don't like
guy,
Superman,
so that's interesting.
It is. You can go see Jor-El and Kal-El in the new Highlander movie.
If this ever sees the light of day, which who knows at this point.
And now Marissa Abella is also a part of this, John. I don't know if you're familiar with her work. She's a British actress famous for her role in Industry. Now joins the 1980s cult classic Remake in the works at Amazon.
Cool.
All
I don't know who this chick is.
Is the Highlander quickening? I don't know. I hope this. Look, we all want this to be good. We really do. And hi, Monique. How are you doing? You joined us just in time. We already have talked about a bit of Superman, but we have a lot more to come later on in the show. Filming for this starts late September, early October. Man, that's fast. I hope this comes out like by this time next year, because I can't wait for this Highlander movie to come out. I mean, Henry Cavill as Highlander is a win, regardless of how good the movie is. The Frankie, I agree with you on that 100%. Now, of course, we know in the new Masters of the Universe movie, Alison Brie is a part of that. She's part of that new horror movie with her husband, Dave Franco, but she's also now set to lead FX's Witness Protection pilot from Hannah Fidel and Gina Welch. David Chase has exited the project, but Alison Brie leading the way. Of course, she's in Glow and Community. She's known for that. But now she's been casted in a lead role for an FX show on top of all the other projects she's got. John, is this one that interests you at all?
Yeah, maybe.
I always like when I look at her, I'm like, she's got one of the most beautiful eyes in the game. Like, and honestly, like, you know, I saw her in Glow, and I'm like, as a wrestling fan, I'm like, I buy it. Like, that show
sure
is
you
actually
were
really
looking at
underrated.
her eyes in that show, Dan.
Yeah, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
What are you referring to? I don't know what you're talking about. I genuinely was trying to compliment her eyes, but anywho, I knew that was gonna be bait for like. Now Caleb's gonna say something ridiculous in the chat. She is gorgeous. Exactly, she is gorgeous. You can't deny.
Franco's a lucky man.
He's a very lucky man. All right, moving on to the Broadway scene, John. Oh, look, Cody Rhodes there. Breaking Bad. You know, of course, the new
Guile,
musical,
apparently.
The new musical, Evita, that Rachel Zegler's a part of. It's a huge hit on the West End, and they're thinking about maybe just bringing it straight to Broadway. That's good news for Rachel Zegler, who of course coming off.
She needed a win. She definitely needed a win.
Snow White.
Like, okay,
I mean, this is about as good of a thing as.
Bye. So good for her. Like, I know, like, she's not a terrible actress. She's a good actress. She's a good singer. I liked Hunger Games: Ballad of Songbird 6. I thought she was good in it, and it's just like a shame that she just couldn't get a win. But it seems like theater might be her place for the time being. So
it's a great pivot away from the movies for now, right? Like, she's gonna get plenty more movies in her career. She's still on the up and up. So hi Hosea, saying I just found out there's a Disney Hercules Broadway going on right now too. Yeah, if you're a fan of that, yeah, go check that out. I mean, you're not. I don't know if that means that's in the U.S. Like, if it's on Broadway, then fly on over. We'll catch up and get a coffee in New York. Yeah, Alison Brie, I mean, great actress, and as is Rachel Zegler. So anyway, moving on to the next thing. Keanu Reeves is set to host and executive produce a docuseries on the birth of the Cadillac Formula One team in the U.S., Sean, after a dream start for the F1 movie that has Brad Pitt in the hearts of millions of people once again. The goal of the show is to showcase what it takes to participate in one of the most exclusive sports arenas in the world. Very timely, of course. I'm sure this is not a coincidence that they're coming out with this soon after the movie comes out. John, would you want to watch this? Keanu Reeves, of course, knows a thing or two about cars.
I mean, I don't really care about F1. I just like the movie. I just like the thrilling scenes. So it's like, I mean, yeah, as Ron said, it could be cool, but
yeah. I mean, and he's already involved in racing. So there we go. Keanu Reeves doing good stuff. I mean, he's also working on, of course, like a new John Wick movie and a number of other things. So I can't wait to see more. I am more interested in F1 today than I've ever been in my life. So quite frankly, I would love to see this and get more insight. But speaking of getting insight, John, we got some insight today that Crimson Tide. Remember that movie, the Crimson Tide movie with Denzel Washington and the late great Gene Hackman? Well, Jerry Bruckheimer on his promotional tour for F1 was talking about how he's working on developing a sequel to Crimson Tide. And of course, while Gene Hackman is no longer with us, he hopes that Denzel Washington will return, saying, I think he would do it. So he's pretty confident, John. It's been 30 years since that movie came out, of course, 1995. The movie's almost as old as us, or probably older than us, depending on who you're talking to. But would you want to see a sequel to Crimson Tide?
Never saw the first one, so I don't know. Maybe it's good. I don't think Denzel Washington will do it.
It is an amazing movie.
Is very confident in that aspect, but
I've seen it. I saw it a long time ago, and then recently it was on cable somewhere, so I started watching it. Then I'm like, okay, I want to watch it without ads, so I went on a streaming service where I forget which one it's on, and then I saw it all the way through. I think I might rewatch it now because it is a really good movie. I agree with you, Hosea. So I mean, look, when you can do Top Gun Maverick,
it's a little bit of poor
there's
timing.
No such thing as too late.
Hackman just died, so it's just
but it's not like the movie will come out next year. Like they're just developing it.
It's still reminiscent of greenlighting the Ghostbusters remake right after Harold Ramis died, or greenlighting the Quantum Leap reboot right after Dean Stockwell died. It's just a little bit awkward. Like, I know it's been a couple months, so I'll give them that, but it's still a little bit of awkward timing.
Yeah, yep. I don't know why Antonio just said in the chat that Jerry Bruckheimer passed away. Jerry Bruckheimer is alive and well, my friend. Gene Hackman did pass away though. So, but yeah, Crimson Tide is an incredible movie, almost Tarantino in a way with the dialogue. Yeah, exactly. Agree. Weird timing. I mean, sure, but like it's not like. I mean, there's plenty of other movies. Like, for example, like, they made a Top Gun Maverick. Tony Scott passed away, so they have a different director directing the movie. And obviously, they give a huge tribute. Within the movie itself, they had Val Kilmer. So, and now Val Kilmer is gone, and I'm sure he'll get a tribute in the opening credits and closing credits of the next Top Gun movie. So, and probably within the movie itself too. Yeah, Jerry Bruckheimer, dude, like probably the most famous and successful producer in recent Hollywood history. But anyway, great movie from a different time, but I would love to see a sequel. I don't mind. What I don't want to see a sequel to is another one of these lawsuits, but apparently Paramount, not apparently, this is very much true. Apparently, why do I keep saying apparently? Last night, I should say, Paramount settled their lawsuit with President Donald Trump, clearing the way clearing the way for the Skydance merger, because officially that lawsuit had nothing to do with the merger, but of course unofficially they were, everybody was like, is this going to affect the fact that Skydance and Paramount are in the process of merging together, because the administration could hold that up. Ultimately, they settled for $16 million. I know that the mediator they had brought in for a settlement was pitching $20 million, so I guess by that account, it's a good deal for Paramount. But at the same time, all the journalism bodies, the WGA East, was criticizing them that this sets a bad precedent, and you know what it does. So I personally, don't think this is a good move that they settled. But I mean, obviously from a business standpoint, I get that they wanted to get, just move on, because it's already been long enough that they're trying to, get this merger done. And as somebody who was employed by Paramount for a while, even, I remember when that news came out before it became public that Paramount was being merged with Skydance, and it's anxiety inducing if you're an employee and you're like, my company might merge and I might lose my job. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, you guys don't have to comment on it. I just wanted to mention it because it is news. So moving on to the next thing, John. The Residence and Pulse have both been canceled at Netflix. The Residence was sort of like the Agatha Christie-esque kind of a show. The Pulse, medical drama. But both shows only lasted one season apiece and are now both canceled. Are you surprised by this? Because to me, I know that Fiona and her mom watched
I'm not.
Residence, and they thought it was terrible.
These are good shows that a lot of people watch. Canceled. Another season of Big Mouth. So it's just like, I feel like that's what the par for the course. It's a good show. A lot of people liked it. Maybe it didn't get the ratings because they didn't fucking market it properly. And then it canceled it, because that's what Netflix does. They have a good show and they cancel it, and then they do season 49 of Big Mouth because the world hates us. So fuck you, Netflix. Yeah. This is why you just don't watch anything, because here's the thing. It's like a catch-22. The reason people don't watch Netflix shows is because they know they're going to get canceled after one season. Right. And because of that, with the few people that do watch the show, they say it's, oh my God, the greatest thing ever. And then they cancel it because nobody's watching, because nobody wants to watch, because you only fucking cancel shows after 1 or 2 seasons. It's like an ongoing thing of canceling, but it's like people like it, but it doesn't matter because ratings, because we didn't fucking market it properly, and people think Netflix sucks now. So it's like an ongoing fucking cycle of bullshit that will not stop until Netflix closes its doors. So yeah,
I will say The Residence was a show that I was interested in watching. I still will probably watch it because I feel like they wrap up the story in the first season, because it's like a seasonal anthology almost. And the only reason I was interested in Pulse was because Villa Fitzgerald from the first season of Jack Ryan. So not Jack Ryan, Jack Reacher. Confusing my Jacks. But Villa Fitzgerald was. I thought that they were gonna bring her back for future seasons of Reacher, but I mean, anyway, she was great in season 1. And then of course The Residence. Netflix has got the Knives Out franchise, so why not add this to the list? We got Monique in the chat saying Netflix used to have 0 original content. Now they have so much shows that we don't know about. That's the thing. They don't advertise their shows anymore, or they advertise that it's so personalized that the general audience awareness is not there. They advertise their shows, but only to people who they think will watch their shows. Therefore, I think as far as discovering new shows, it really puts everybody at a disadvantage, because you might be like, oh, that was a great show, I could have seen it. But then nobody saw it, they cancel it, and then all of a sudden people are like, well, it was great. What happened? Why is there only 1 season?
It was a great show. Why'd they cancel it? In the words of Woody. So,
by the way, Thunderbolt is doing great on video on demand. So good for you, Jose. I'm glad you got a chance to check it out. The next thing, John, of course, The Bear. I mean, a show that has been renewed unexpectedly so for season 5. Season 4 has an 82% Rotten Tomatoes score, and that might seem like a high number, but for The Bear itself, it's the lowest rated season on Rotten Tomatoes so far.
Okay, I gotta ask, if this is the lowest, whose dick got sucked for season 3? Because that was one of the worst seasons of television I have ever seen. I've seen some bad seasons of television, like Dexter, season 7 and 8 were bad. Fucking
I thought
Walking Dead season 3 was terrible. All these other shows. It's
go further back, the seasons of X-Files without Mulder were pretty terrible too. So it's
So
and
it's
they kept going.
Well, I never watched those, but I'm there's so many terrible, and it's just
I did. Anyway.
Well, okay. Well, I was talking about my experience. I can't say, but obviously you can say. But it's
Go
just
ahead.
like season 3 of The Bear has got to be like one of the worst seasons of television I've ever seen. And I'm not watching season 4, and because it got renewed. Because the only reason I was gonna watch season 4, because I'm like, okay, let's see how it ends. And now I'm not gonna watch it because season 3 was just that bad. And like, here's the thing: a lot of people think, oh, the 2 were so dropped off. Season 2 was like good, but like not great. It was just not terribly like, it was like the building of the restaurant was like, okay, that's like kind of interesting. But season 1, that the whole and I'm pretty sure I said this when we were talking about The Bear before, the reason that show, you're welcome, the reason that show like was good is because it was like this Michelin trained chef. Like, he had to be a fucking owner of a sandwich shop. That was like the balance. There was like the weird like gap of like, oh, the irony of this guy who has to come in because his brother, unalived himself, and he had to come in and do this, and he was like the only one who like knew chef. But the ironic part was like, he was trained in like Copenhagen and shit like that, and he was like, and that was like what drove the show. That's what made it interesting. And then they're like, oh no, let's gentrify the place and make it a hoity-toity bullshit place, and it's just not as interesting. Like, I would say Evan Moss Bacharach, he was probably the best part of the show in season 3 because I liked his journey. It was interesting. But like, yeah, Frasier was another one where, according to my parents at least, they say even the later seasons were very good. But it was just like, I don't like, again, it's a 69 score. That's like a D, but like, even then, like, that's still pretty high. I'm just like, who is liking this show? Because all the people I've talked to, again, I don't know a ton of people that are like, I don't know, like 1,000 people or something, but all I've seen for The Bear season 3 is like, this was terrible. And from what little I've seen of in terms of The Bear season 4, in terms of people's thoughts, it's also terrible. So like, who are the critics here? Like, they got to be like paid out or something, because I can't imagine like anybody like that many positive reviews. And it just goes to Rotten Tomatoes is horse shit. Like, they give like, I remember like fucking like Supergirl season 1 got like 100 or like 98%. It's like, all right. I don't know. It's just like, it's ridiculous to me. I don't plan on watching season 4. I don't plan on watching season 5. I don't get how the show is good, and it's a shame because I love all of the actors. They all do a good job with the fucking subpar material. Like, I like Ayo Edebiri. I like Jeremy Allen White, even though he is a piece of shit. I like Evan Moss Bacharach, even though I don't agree with his bullshit take on practical effects. But I think it just like, exactly, because like, I remember you were talking about this when we were talking about season 1s that get canceled. It's like they don't have time to build that audience because God knows.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at every 90s show that became a classic. Like, the first season was never the first
season of Next Generation is not that good, but it got terrible. Better. Like, by the time you get to season 4 or 5, it's coming. So yeah.
But the thing is, if Star Trek: The Next Generation, that same exact writing, that same exact team made that today, it would have gotten canceled after season 1, maybe season 2. And because the thing is, they don't build I understand it's a different landscape and it's streaming, it's not cable, I get that. But like, at the same time, it's just like, you don't give it time to grow, and it's just like, it's sad. And but this is on Hulu, and they actually do give things a chance, unless it's the Orville, which like, give us season 4 of the Orville, damn it. Don't give us season 5 of this shit. Cut this off. Give the budget to the Orville. Make Seth MacFarlane like have 5 more seasons of the Orville.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, I will say also,
Anyway.
somebody, I think Figure Drawing was mentioning, like, Fringe Fringe did get better. I actually kind of didn't want it to end. Like, the last season for Fringe, which was like half a season because they had half as many episodes, was a little weird, but they were trying to like wrap up all the stories. But speaking of the late great Lance Reddick, man, he was fantastic in Fringe. Fringe is one of those underrated shows. I mean, that's one of the shows that, in addition to Lost, is where J.J. Abrams made his name before he started doing
Felicity
more movies.
was another one, right?
Which one?
Felicity. That was another show that J.J. Abrams was a part of.
I think
it had,
so.
Kerry Russell in it.
Oh yeah, yep. But yeah, TNG would have been canceled and then called. Yeah, exactly, man. And Fringe was awesome. Remember, Fringe is actually technically it's kind of in canon connected to X-Files, like they sort of take place in the same world, except until they did the requel of the X-Files and they brought it back, and all of a sudden like none of the timelines match up. But anyway, thank you, Figure Drawing. I don't think Fringe gets enough love these days. John, have you seen The History of Violence? Because he was asking about. Oh, you're muted, John. Sorry.
I don't know why I was muted, but I have seen I have not seen History of Violence. It's on my list. Fringe was also on my list for a while because I wanted to. Because I remember my sister was like talking about that. She's like, I think we were like trying.
Are you eating gummy bears?
I am eating gummy bears.
Okay.
I've been eating them for like Albanese. These are really good. So good. Anyway.
Albanese gummy bears. Okay.
But yeah, Haribo garbage.
That's part of what
really
Star Trek is inclusive, Fringe is a bizarre universe. It is. Yes, absolutely. Fringe was amazing.
And I remember like my sister was like, have you ever heard of Fringe? I'm like, yeah. She's like, it was a show in the 2000s. They said it was, oh my God, it was this really good. And we planned to watch. Hey, you're eating, all right? Don't get mad at me for eating.
Well, since you were eating, I'm like, I might as well. Anyway.
Just never do a Slim Jim. Anyway. But like I think we were like gonna watch that, and then we just never did. So I might I need to catch up on a ton of shows. I've just been like gaming so much that like that I just haven't been. I need because my dad keeps getting mad because we're like in the middle of season 2 of For All Mankind and we haven't watched an episode in like 2 months. So he's like, all right, dude, can we like catch up on the show? I'm like, I know, I was busy. I will hopefully watch those sometime this week.
Anyway, moving on with the quick hits. Fantastic Four. I saw that they put up a new Herbie featurette talking about how the humanoid experimental robot B-type integrated electronics can often be found in the lab, assisting on new Reed Tech technology or anticipating housekeeping needs around the home. Watch him tidy up, they say. Invented by Reed Richards, of course. What would you call that? What do they call that? Herbie? What is that? Like, I'm having such a hard time.
A robot?
No. Like it's HERBI. It's
experimental B-type integrated electronic.
Whatever, the whole name, it's like they really worked hard to like make that into Herbie, or like they had to be like, it's Herbie, but like what do we actually call him? Like what are the words? The acronym, that's the word, acronym. It's a very interesting acronym. These Slim Jims are getting to my head. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing. It was apparently yesterday now because we were past the midnight hour. Forever Holding Hands, happy anniversary to Reed Richards and Sue Storm. John, are you a fan of this couple? I know there's obviously Superman and Lois. We're going to talk about them a lot later on, but on the Fantastic Four side, you also have an iconic couple. Do you think they will leave a mark on us when the movie comes out in a couple of weeks?
Maybe. It might be a good mark. It might be a bad mark. We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, it looks Galactus is going to be definitely a key part of the movie. I wonder if Galactus is also going to come into the 616 universe as well. That'll be interesting. I do remember the Gummy Bears cartoon. Okay, moving on to the next thing. Paul and MJ. Yeah, you know what? That is also true.
No, that is not. Also true. Fuck Paul. Paul can get the hell out of here. Paul is a loser, and I hope he's not real. So I hope he dies. I hope. Apparently they're gonna make him Venom, or they made him Venom. So it's like just have him Venom, and then just like have him like just murdered and just like be done with it. Fuck Paul. Fuck that guy. All my homies hate Paul. Loser. I hate that guy.
Who is y'all's best comic book relationship on screen? Well, mine would be my favorite one on screen. I think is Superman and Lois right now. When it's clicking, I don't know.
Yeah, because DC actually lets them get married and be happy together and have a child. Marvel, I just love this whole thing with like the comics of like, we refuse to have Peter and MJ be happy. I mean, we'll do it in this other universe, and that universe is selling like hotcakes. And I can just imagine all the Marvel executives that refuse to have Peter and MJ together as part of their weird branding bullshit. They're like, just crying in a corner, like, why doesn't anybody like our terrible ideas? Yeah, gee, I wonder why. Stop putting the fucker in high school, and maybe we'll buy the fucking mainstream comics, you losers.
What I will say, what I will say about the best comic book relationship that I've seen on screen in any cinematic universe or movie, I think was Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone as Peter and Gwen. I don't think there's a better couple in terms of chemistry on screen that we have seen in any superhero movie. It's just, it was so natural, and it just was like, you believed it from the first time.
We don't talk about that.
Gwen and Norman Osborn. Yeah.
Why did you have to ruin things, guys? Anyway, let's not get into that. Let's not get into another rant.
Yeah, should be erased from my memory. There you go. Spider-Gwen and Miles before Spider-Man comes out. Yeah, Superman comes out. Yeah, you know what? That's also a good one too. In the Spider-Verse movies too. All right. Well, look. Hey. Hopefully, we do get to see Superman. Have a family in the big screen as well. He's already got a crypto. He's got a cousin in Supergirl, and a work family, and of course Ma and Pa Kent are both still around. So anyway, John, this is great. This is from Jay Tower's social media, and he asked him about how he came up with the stat that David Corenswet is the 12th live action Superman, I believe, right? And like, how does it make him feel? And he's like, wow. I mean, and you could tell David Corenswet kind of like think his way through an answer. And he was like, I hope that I'm not the last one. And then it's such an honor to play the character that I hope that, the next person who takes it on gets a chance to do something different with it. And you could tell that David Corenswet is obviously thankful for the opportunity. And he said before, we talked about it yesterday, that he wouldn't mind if all he is known for throughout his career is Superman. He thinks that's totally okay. He wouldn't, be tortured over the idea, like Christopher Reeve struggled with that throughout his career. So, John, you blew your nose, Steven's headphones. Okay.
Oh, did I not mute it? I'm sorry about that.
I don't know. I think I was just talking over it, but I'm sure somebody with their headphones on probably heard
I'm
you.
sorry about that. You should have tried to mute. I greatly apologize for that.
I just thought this was a great clip here. Again, one of the many interviews that they did during the press junket. Val Kilmer and Chris O'Donnell. Oh my God, it was better than George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell. But anyway, moving on from that is actually the end of the quick hits, guys. So with that, let us know what you thought about all the different stories, the news, the quick hits. Which of the stories was your favorite? Do you like the Fantastic Four stuff, the Superman stuff, of course? Are you excited for a Crimson Tide sequel? And
no.
We have talking about the Bear season 4 Rotten Tomatoes score as well. Let us know in the comments down below. Hit the like button if you haven't already. We do appreciate that. And of course, subscribe if you're new. We are here doing this 5 days a week, and hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. With that, we're not done yet. We're definitely not done yet. Let's get into the main event of the show, as we always like to say, and that is, of course, DC news. So welcome on in to another episode of DCU Daily. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot of Superman stuff to talk about specifically today. We have that. We have a million other things to get into beyond that. Some stuff from James Gunn, some stuff from David Corenswet, Richard Brosnahan, Nicholas Hoult, the rest of the cast of the new movie Superman. So to do that, John, I want to ask you, which of the million different things we're going to talk about today are you most excited about, especially because it's a very Superman heavy show?
And that's gonna sound weird, but I'm excited to talk about Manos' time at the Superman screening. Like getting involved with fan stuff. I like that.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if Manos is here with us though.
He was here earlier. I don't know if he still is, but
Manos, give a little thumbs up if you're still alive out there.
Crimson Tide to Crimson Tider. That'd be a good name for that sequel. Oh, dude, yeah, Batman and Robin fighting over Poison Ivy was super cute, but then it was like you couldn't believe. It's like Chris O'Donnell. They told him act like a teenager, and he's like, "Dude, I'm like 30 freaking years old." And I was just like, The commitment to the
why is it Batman and Robin and I'm Robin and Batman? You know, chicks dig the car.
The chicks dig the
why
car is gonna
Superman
be
walks
in a
alone.
DC intro for sure. It was so silly, but I loved it. Oh my god! And then of course, Arnold comes in with his own thing, like allow me to break the ice. Chill. Anyway, okay. I can't go into that right now. Let's talk about James Gunn, shall we? As we always do. He was recently talking about how Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman will unite in the DCU, but not in the next movie. In fact, we had the clip from his interview. He was asked this by Deadline on the red carpet, and they were like, well, are we going to see the Trinity come together eventually? And he was like, yeah, we will in the DCU for sure. But of course, it's not going to be in the next movie. So, I mean, we know the next movie is Supergirl. Do you think he was referencing the movie he might be working on? Do you think this gives us an idea maybe of what he is and what he isn't working on right now, the next script that he's writing? What do you think, John?
Stay cool, bird boy. Anyway. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Like it's just like he's just got to be vague because it's like he's like I got shit planned out, but like 10 years, it's a lot of time, but like not a lot of shit to come out. So it's like I don't know. Obviously, we'll see. Like I'd love to see the Trinity, but like there's only so much you can like do and say, and and I will say that I feel like this isn't James Gunn being his normal cock teasing self. I just think like.
He's being legit. He's being legit.
He's being like legitimate,
genuine,
like because it's like he doesn't know and he doesn't want to. I think he's learning from the announcement because someone actually had a fair point about the announcement, as in 2023. Somebody made a fair point of this. I'm like, that feels like an investor's announcement. It was made to like bring those like stock prices up, the board of directors for the investors kind of thing. So anyway, so I just think that he's. That was like he had like 5 projects lined up and he's like, I guess we have these 5 projects. Okay, make the announcement. And now he's trying to learn from that. Like now that he's like more in his role as CEO, he's like, you know what, let's like not have all these like half-ass promises, especially when the Authority and Waller and Booster Gold are kind of on the fence. And we don't know if those are like happening in the same way. So he's like, okay, let's just be vague because it's like I have a plan of certain things, but honestly, I don't want to, have this like.
And he also said it's all in my head. It's like he's just talking to himself.
It's
not like
he doesn't want to have like the Marvel. He doesn't want to do what Disney does. Like he doesn't want to have like the big slate of like, oh, these are all the movies, and then half of them get canceled, and it's just like, well, you were promised this, and now we will never get to see this Blade. So it's like, oh, that kind of sucks, and it's like, oh well. So he just wants to like try not to do that again, and I respect it.
Yep, I agree. Let's kick some ice. Yeah. Anyway, good luck to James Gunn putting the Trinity together. I have a feeling they're not going to do a BVS situation. They're probably going to go to a Justice League movie, and I'm glad we're not going to get it anytime soon. One of you guys were actually in the comments. I think Kyle was talking about it. Or no, Elite EZ I think might have mentioned it. The idea of maybe like we'll get World's Finest pretty soon, or maybe that's what he's working on next. And I'm like, look, the Justice League movie is probably going to be in the 2030s at this point. Like they've got so many other things planned. I don't think we get a DCU Justice League till at least 2030. So we've got a ways to go. Yeah, the chat is just quoting Arnold lines now. That's really all we're talking about now. Holy rusted metal, Batman. What happened to the Iceman? I think he melted. What was it? Like, I think he's hibernating. He must be hibernating. That's literally a line that George Clooney says in that movie, which was great. Take 2 of these and call me in the morning. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Oh,
Allow
God.
me to break the ice.
Yeah, maybe he melted. No, it was like maybe he. I think the line was like I think somebody said like Robin says something like, "What happened to the Iceman?" And he's like, and then George Clooney's Batman is like, "He must be hibernating," and he says it in like the most serious face on it, like he's not trying to make a joke, and it's just like you gotta just take it for what it is. Hasta la vista, baby. Yes, I love those movies. I grew up on those Batman movies, man. Like I had Batman and Robin on VHS, and that was like a guilty pleasure. I'm like, I still will defend that movie because I'm like, you know what? there's a certain quality to those films, like the cheesiness aspect of it. It's tonight hell freezes over. I'm like, oh yes, they couldn't have gotten anybody better than Arnold to play that role, and that's why I was
fun fact,
laughing so hard with the Oscars with the Arnold and Danny DeVito like doing that thing with Michael Keaton. Is like, how did he beat you? He he used my only weakness against me, love. And then Danny DeVito's like, he threw me out a window. It's like, wah wah. Yeah, he's like, where is he? He's here. Oh, he's right there. He's like, oh, you're a real beak breaker, you. And he's like, yeah, come on. I was like, yeah, I love it. Oh my god, I do want to see that movie. Like, I'd rather see that than like a Flash crossover with Michael Keaton. They need to bring back Michael Keaton's Batman and then cross him over in the multiverse with with Mr. Freeze and bring back Danny DeVito's Penguin.
It is really funny because back when they were planning like the early stages of that movie before like a proper script was being written, and I think they wanted to like have like they already knew the villains. I think they wanted Patrick Stewart or Anthony Hopkins to play Mr. Freeze, and then they brought it, and then they made the movie what it is, and Joel Schumacher's like, I want Arnold Schwarzenegger because it's like he said like a giant chiseled piece of ice. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And then we got the movie we got, and go figure.
Yeah. By the way, I have heard that the new Old Guard movie, the reviews are out now. Old Guard 2, it's not as good as the first one. So, Monique, tell us what you thought about it.
Anyway,
like, tell us what you thought about it. Yeah, Ron is just going off in the chat with the quotations. Will a James Gunn Batman have comedy?
No.
He said that he wants a more grounded, darker Batman. Like, he's not doing a campy Batman, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did get a little bit of humor. I mean, let's be honest.
I don't think obviously
the Dark Knight movies had
like
humor.
It's not going to be like a grounded, realistic. The grounded, realistic Batman. But you're fired. But we are getting more of like a supernatural kind of Batman, like in that supernatural world of not just like, what if Batman was realistic? Fuck that shit. We're not doing that shit. This is the Batman that exists with Superman. So we're getting something a little bit more comic booky, and it makes sense.
Yep. No, I agree with you there. But yeah, I mean, John, speaking of what's on the screen, what's been on the screen here this whole time, David Corenswet talking about how he exchanged letters with Henry Cavill and Tyler Hoechlin when he got cast as Superman, asking them for their advice. And then he mentioned, the both of them interestingly said in their own words, I'm not going to try to give you any tips. And I think that's a very Superman thing in the sense that, they just told him like, kind of do it your way. And so Corenswet continued on to say that they really just conveyed an encouragement and a sense of have fun with it, like have fun with it, like Arnold did when he was playing Mr. Freeze. So I'm glad that we're gonna get that. A little bit of levity would be nice too. By the way, I really love this photo. I don't know if you've seen this before. I don't know what this is from. It looks pretty gosh darn amazing to me.
You're just looking at that bulge, damn.
What? Oh, that bulge. Sorry, I didn't even notice.
I did not notice that bulge. Goddamn.
No, I totally did not notice that. But this is the actual video. So he was on red carpet being asked about this, and that's exact. What I just read, the quote is exactly what David Corenswet said in response to that question. So, yeah, John, what do you think about that? The fact that Henry Cavill and Tyler Hoechlin, the two most recent Supermen from the movies and the TV shows, they kind of said, look, have fun with it, man. I mean, Tyler Hoechlin at one point was only going to be in 2 episodes of Supergirl. Then he parlayed that into crossovers and an entire show that, quite frankly, outclassed even the rest of the Arrowverse. So between the beloved take that Tyler Hoechlin had, and obviously the Henry Cavill take that people have grown fond of the longer that the Man of Steel has been around, and then obviously the Justice League movies and stuff, the two of those actors have made their careers from having been part of the Superman franchise, and are now parlaying into other projects. What do you think about David Corenswet just kind of taking the advice of, hey, just have fun with it, do your own thing? Like they can't really. There's no one way to do Superman. What do you think about that?
Yeah, very Superman answer.
Definitely a very Superman answer. That's exactly what he said. But anyway, It would be cool if Cavill did an interview. Yeah, you know what? It would be, but again, it's a availability thing. Tyler was also great as Superman, and yeah, Henry Cavill. Okay, all right, Monique. Does he win the Bulge department? How do you know? How do you know? I do want to know genuinely. How do you know this? Because you're there's an implication in your statement that I would love to investigate a little bit further. But anyway, you got the lowdown. S figure drawing set. Well, we're really in DCU daily after dark mode now. But anywho, PLO hasn't watched Superman and Lois the first few episodes. Dude, get back into it. John, you loved it, right? Like you saw it all the way through. We reviewed it on this channel, especially the final season. And I think you loved it, didn't you? Like you loved the way it ended and how they kind of wrapped up the story.
Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Pacerland is here. Hello, Pacerland 317. How are you feeling about the NBA free agency so far? Maybe Snyder Bros seeing Cavill encouraging Corenswet. Maybe they will chill out on the second. Yeah. Maybe not.
No.
The last episode definitely had a few moments where, if you were a fan of the show, you would have shed a few tears. Yeah, how do you know, Monique? We are kind of curious now. But anyway, Pacerland, I am kind of, sad to see that, Miles Turner has left your team, but I hope you guys get another player who can kind of, come in his place and do the job. But anyway, moving on to the next thing. John.
No, just kidding. I don't care about basketball.
I wanted to bring this photo up again because yesterday we talked about this, or the last couple of days we've been talking about it. Lois, driving one of the Toyotas that it's an all-electric Toyota. I think BZ is the name of the car. So they did this as part of like a commercial for Toyota,
like an electrical thing. I get it.
Yeah. I mean, they shot this is in Cincinnati, right? Where they shot this, like it's a train station.
Caleb, them's fighting words.
Ooh.
Dan, what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, Monique. I don't care, Caleb. Like you can not like basketball. Clearly I do, so therefore there's at least one person in the world who does. But Monique saying he was my neighbor. Henry Cavill was Monique's neighbor for a few months when training for Justice League. Okay. You're
definitely looking into his windows, I bet.
Yeah, I bet you were.
Look at that hunky piece of man meat.
Do you still have your binoculars that you use for that? Like any other, like this whole spy gear, the kit that you probably bought at the pawn shop nearby? Like we would love to know more about that adventure. Stalking says. Anyway, okay, getting back to what I was talking about. So this hall, you can see they're kind of putting the Hall of Justice sign on it. I have a feeling this shot from that Toyota commercial is from the movie. And you could tell there's somebody over there, like either fixing, like, finishing engraving Hall of Justice into the building or whatever the case is. Do you think that implies that this Hall of Justice is relatively new? And it's kind of like where Maxwell Lord is trying to go with his Justice Gang? Or has it been around for a while? Like the JSA used it because the superheroes in this universe have existed for like 300 years, John. How old is the Hall of Justice? Like, what is the heritage of this building in the movie, in the universe of the DCU?
Cavill. Sorry. I keep seeing the comments with Henry Cavill. I mean, obviously we don't know the length yet. But I think it was confirming what I was saying way back when it was filming in last June, last July, where I said, "Oh, Maxwell Lord probably owns the building, and that's where this pseudo Justice League is going to be." And that seems like the case. Now, obviously, not Justice Gang. We're still, not official yet, but Guy Gardner likes the name. But I think whatever is
like, though it has a potential to stick. He's like, the name is temporary. He's like, though it has a potential to stick. That was his line.
I still think that would be a great, if way in the future, like when the Injustice Gang, because that is an actual, group in the comics. They were like the Injustice League. It was like the Legion of Doom. They've got like an evil version, like the villainous Justice League, where it's like the Injustice Gang, Injustice League, Legion of Doom. They've had their fair share of names. Lex Luthor was pretty much part of all of them. And so it would be funny if they specifically introduced the Injustice Gang and Guy Gardner is just like, See? Now the evil guys are using it. They should have fucking used it. Guys, I told you. Like, that would be so great. Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom. Meanwhile, at Hall of Justice. But yeah, good stuff.
They said Legion of Dune. Not is it? It's like
How
Dune?
you? No, it's Joey is on the team. How you doing?
How you doing? I love Joey's what was he trying to? He was trying to do a British accent, and it always comes out like he's doing a Southern accent. He's like, "Well, the South will rise again, man." He's like, wait, he was trying to do a Southern accent, but he ends up doing like a Caribbean accent. Anyway, I love Joey. We all love Joey.
Not enough for his own show to work, but that's
unfortunately. We could have a league of our own. That got changed up. Then they reshot that for the theatrical version of Justice League. But Ron saying, "Let's be real, the Legion of Doom's headquarters is the White House." Yo, okay, that one hit close to the west. I don't have any dog in that fight, but yeah, that's a little too real, Ron. I bet the Green Gang will take Guy Gardner right in. Who's the Green Gang? You mean the Green Lanterns gang? Okay.
Eyes up here. His pecs.
Yikes, John! I did not need that visual tonight.
I'll shake the titties for the camera. My middies, my moobs. Hell yeah. There you go. You have to, if you want them uncovered, that's for the Oh So Curious OnlyFans. But
it's a Powerpuff Girls reference. Okay. Pacerland saying, "I'm enjoying all these interviews. I've never seen where all the interviews were invited to one spot for the whole cast, and marketing is better than Barbie." Yeah, they do actually do that more and more and often these days, where they'll do a press junket, they'll invite everybody over. It's just usually you don't notice it as much because they're all kind of sitting with like a black background and like a poster on the side. Sometimes studios also set this off, like give this away to a third-party production studio. So this time it looks like this was all mostly done in-house by Warner Brothers Marketing, but it's not that uncommon. It's just we don't notice it as much because obviously most people don't pay attention to it. But anyway, yes, it's a Powerpuff Girls reference. I got it. No, don't need to imagine a John's OnlyFans. Elite Easy is already looking forward to it, I guess. Anyway, the Hall of Justice. I was just kind of curious to see if this is a new thing in the cinematic universe, or if it's been around in the DC for a long time. I guess we'll find out.
I haven't seen the newest season, but I do watch it.
I saw the trailer for it, but I might give it a shot. I tried to get into it, but then I stopped watching cable TV. So, hey, we got a new look at Clark Kent and Steve Lombard here, John. What do you think about this? Again, not much to go off of other than the fact that they very much look the part. And you got Hammer Baravia in the news there, right? Creating havoc in the city, which is
yes,
cool. The Inter Gang, yeah, they were in the Powerpuff Girls. You're right, you guys are right. I bet it's going to be Justice League versus Darkseid in the Infinity War like movie series. Wait, what? I lost track of the comments now. Anyway,
thanks.
Comments are going off.
It. But I mean, if you like hair, then I'm your man. Woo. Hello.
All right, moving on. More James Gunn stuff. Of course, this time around, David Corenswet talking about James Gunn, saying that James Gunn means it when he says he had that there's no plan better than the quality of the scripts. For better or for worse, they will compromise a timeline rather than compromise a film. They want to make good movies, and they want them to be worth watching and worth rewatching. The last bit of that, I think, is the most important
way
thing.
Of things. Just make constantly good movies, throw out the timeline, and you're boom, you got it.
Yep. I love the fact that, again, David Corenswet is like, look, it's pretty simple. They want to make good movies. Like, that's really what it's all about. And there's no better plan than to just make good movies. And even if you have to kind of adjust the timeline, we have clearly seen so far they're willing to change things around and not be like, oh, we announced those 10 projects, we must do those 10 projects. Like, The Authority might not happen, and Waller has been restructured, and we don't know where Booster Gold is right now, but the Batman Brave and the Bold obviously still in the works. They've announced Clayface. There's a Teen Titans script in the works. There's a Wonder Woman script in the works. There's so many things that weren't announced initially that are either going to come out before some of those projects or have been added into the queue. Not to mention we still have Peacemaker season 2, which wasn't part of the original lineup. Creature Commandos got renewed. So like they're clearly very flexible with this. And I bet you we're gonna get another movie announcement once Superman starts making a shit ton of money. And a couple of weeks in, they might be like Superman 2 is greenlit or something to that effect. And so yeah, I mean Blue Beetle, we know we're getting that too. So yeah, I mean I don't know if we're gonna get Darkseid anytime soon, but eventually, introduce fourth world characters. They obviously have the Mr. Miracle show that they just announced. So they're flexible. And then Paradise Lost, that might be a little bit slower. They said it's not moving as fast as you'd like. So quality ultimately is what matters. And James Gunn keeps sticking with the idea that they got to make sure the script is good before they move forward. So that David Corenswet just kind of reiterating that, which is great to hear that his the poster child of this new universe is in sync with the creator of the universe. So John, we did get a new look at the Fortress of Solitude where they have this laboratory section. Kind of in really bad shape. It feels like Crypto did a bit of damage. This was part of the footage they showed at CinemaCon, and then we actually got the full clip now too. So you see that here, where Superman comes in and he's like, what's going on here? Like Superman robots, I asked you to look after the place, and they're like, we feed the canine, but we don't really care if the canine lives or dies. We didn't really get to see Crypto damage the place, but that was some of the additional footage that they showed at CinemaCon that we haven't yet been graced with. John, though, what do you think about the overall clip here, showing how Superman really trying to get Crypto to stop nipping at his feet while he's probably getting back out there to fight whatever kaiju he was fighting in Metropolis, and Crypto's like, "Don't leave me behind. Please bring me along." And it seems like they cut away right before he decides to bring Crypto along with him. What do you think?
Adorable. As Ron said, he's a good boy.
He's a good boy. He is a good boy. I love Crypto, and I think they've done Crypto better than anybody could have possibly imagined when they said they were going to have him in the movie. So hell to the yeah. All right. Now we get into Manos Time's photos. We got a couple of photos that he sent over to us. This is a screening from, I believe, Manos. Correct me if I'm wrong. This looks like you were at a theater in Paris, right? Like here's a photo from outside the theater. And they had a special screening of Superman. And it looks like you were there.
Minutes, that is.
The first 30 minutes, yeah. And you got a chance. Did you get a chance to see the entire first 30 minutes? I know you kind of told us a little bit about it the other day. So let us know what you thought about that. Yeah, dude, Crypto CGI is incredibly detailed, but we shouldn't be surprised now considering what they did with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So yeah, man, Paris theaters, they look pretty damn good. They look stylish. That's where film was invented, so it makes sense. On the inside, this looks like something straight out of Blade Runner 2049. But I love this. I love it. I mean, you can see, if you can read that, it says, well, it's all in French. So they were telling people keep your reactions private. The social media embargo, lifts on July 7th. So basically asking people to not reveal everything they saw until then. But this is great. Thank you for sending these photos in, Manos Time. Anybody else who's watching, if you guys get a chance to, be at one of the red carpet events, I think George was in the chat yesterday. He said he sent me some stuff. I couldn't find it anywhere, but George, if you get a chance to do that, you can definitely check us out on in your Instagram, find us on X, or drop us a line on Facebook, wherever you can, and we'll bring those photos into the show. Yeah, James Gunn does know a thing or two about digital CGI animals. He's done a great job with obviously Rocket Raccoon for 3 Guardians movies, and then all of his friends in the last one, and now Crypto. So yeah, man, recliner seats. That's all we need. I mean, the theater I'm going to, I think, has recliner seats. John, which theater did you book your Superman screening for? Is it one of the
same
recliner
one I
ones?
always go to? It's the one 15 minutes from my house.
Nice. I hope you get to recline and relax and have fun.
Oh yeah, they're in. I think it might be the Dolby Theater.
Nice.
So
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Well, those are definitely recliner chairs. You can get comfortable and enjoy the movie.
Maybe I need to go see Jurassic World Rebirth and just fall asleep in one of those chairs.
By the way, I do have recliner chairs at home. I fall asleep on these all the time watching TV. There's a big ass home theater system and television to my right.
You gotta show off your Gotta show off your fit, man.
One day, I'm not willing to just grab the camera and
I've
do
showed
that
up
right now.
in my messy room, you know.
I will eventually. You guys let me know if you guys want that. But you know what is going to be interesting? The fact that according to Omelette, who saw the first 30 minutes of the movie, they said that not only is Bradley Cooper playing Jor-El, which we found out the other day, but he's also voicing one of the robots. So I was kind of curious, John, do you think it's meant to be like the voice of Jor-El in a robot, or is it they're two completely different characters? Kind of like we had the presence of, if you want to call it the presence of Jor-El in Man of Steel. It wasn't him really, but we got to see Russell Crowe in the latter half of that film. Do you think that's what they're going for here when Bradley Cooper is voicing not only one of the robots but also playing Jor-El?
I think it'll be two separate entities. I think it'll be like we're gonna get like the whatever it is, the floating head, the hologram,
Yeah.
however they're gonna choose to show it. But at the same time, I think like maybe he put his own consciousness, like a very rudimentary consciousness, into one of the robots, like just in case, or like that was like the that could be the robot that Superman is crying over because maybe he destroyed like the one that was the voice of his father. Maybe he just that could maybe that's why. Okay, John's theory time. Here it is. The reason that James big act. I think like it's like a consciousness kind of thing. Like it's like on a chip, and then he inserted the chip into the thing. Anyway, the reason he got such a big actor to play him because it's like this is the only time we'll ever see Jor-El, because maybe when Lex is destroying the fortress, he does say in that clip that trailer that we were talking about earlier, the TV spot was like, I'm going to destroy you, your family, everyone you care about. It says your family. Maybe he finds out that Jor-El is, his father. And he's like, well, I'm going to destroy this. And then not only does he destroy
I don't have friends. I got family.
Yes. But it's kind of like how he destroys, and then he'll be like, okay, this is his father. Well, I'm going to destroy this. And then then he destroys not only the Superman robot that has Jor-El's consciousness, but he also destroys like the connection that he has to like whatever, like what greater consciousness, like something like Marlon Brando's head in like the original Superman movies, Russell Crowe's like on the key thing and all that. So like that consciousness, I feel like Lex is going to destroy that, and that's why he's also really angry. Like he has and that's why he's so much angrier in that clip where he's like, "Where's the dog?" So like because he just lost his parents forever. That's why Superman is so angry. So he lost the consciousness that Lex destroys the consciousness of Jor-El and Laura Lorvan, and then on top of the fact, he also took Crypto, and maybe he hasn't met Supergirl yet, and that's the last or at least one of the last remnants of Krypton is Crypto. So he's like, I have nothing left. I'm fucking pissed. Lex, where's my fucking dog? Because like Jor-El and Laura Lorvan are gone now. So that's my theory, because that's why he could afford bringing such a big name like Bradley Cooper as Jor-El, because this is the only time we're going to see Jor-El, and he's going to be permanently cut off from them, kind of like what happened in Superman and Lois when Morgan Edge, whatever his fucking like Tarazor, whatever the fuck his like Kryptonian name was, Morgan Edge, was he like how he destroyed Jor-El and his consciousness, and then they had to use his mother. But in this case, they're gonna destroy Jor-El and Laura Lorvan's consciousness, and boom, that's it. I mean, we don't see the sigil, so you think this is Superman robot number 4, voiced by Alan Tudyk, but in reality, it's the robot that has Jor-El's consciousness in there, and to a greater extent, the hologram that has Jor-El, like maybe Lex like deleted it and then destroyed it. I think that makes sense. Fuck you, figure drawing. You could suck my dick. All right. I think that's a good theory. I think that is a reasonable crash out, as Caleb said. So, I think I don't know. I just like he's pissed. Like, okay, it's not just the dog, but it's like he lost his parents. Cause it's like, why would he be fucking like crying over a robot this much? Like, I understand it's Superman, he wants to save everyone, but like I feel like there's something more there that we're not getting. Now, I could be, again, this is just a theory. This is just a theory. So maybe it's just a silly theory, but that's what I'm theorizing. That's because, like, why would you get Bradley Cooper and like have him come back multiple times? He's too big of an actor. He's still trying to get that Oscar. He's not going to come back for like Superman 3. Like, come on now. So they got him for one movie. And I understand he's like doing a favor for James Gunn because he voiced Rocket. But it's like, but that's a difference. Like, he's voicing Rocket. Here, he's probably doing like something with his face and body and shit like that, like an actual physical role. It's like, well, the reason they got him, boom, they're getting rid of him after one movie. Yeah, because we already seen too much Shirel. So fuck it. They're doing that. Thank you, Enterprising. Thank you. My logic is undeniable. Makes sense. So suck it, figure drawing. Everyone else is on my side. Get the hell out of here with your yin and yang bullshit. Anyway,
the yin and yang serial killer and thing in Psych was pretty great. Sorry, random brain moving in different directions. So, yeah, thank you for that theory time, John. We love theory time on DC Daily. That's why we're here. Hello, Troy. How are you? Superman reviews. We don't have a ton new stuff because the embargo hasn't lifted yet, Troy. So we will keep an eye out. The embargo lifts on Monday. So when you guys come here for the Monday show, we will definitely talk about all the reviews in a non-spoilery fashion. But yeah, so far, everybody who has talked about the movie, they're giving us a very positive review. So on reaction, we haven't gotten many details, but we'll keep our eye out. Today, we just got a lot of quotes from the different press junket interviews. And of course, we now have to move on to talking about the London premiere of the movie, because that's where they were today. They were at the red carpet in London, John. So let's talk about that, shall we? Because we have a ton of red carpet footage to get into. The very first of which, let me kind of switch focus here. They're like, "Hello, London," and then they were at the top of the Shard, and the views are beautiful because you get to see.
Sound like
the Shard. The Shard. An 11-foot Superman statue. And speaking of the bulge, I mean, hey, they had quite the view. He's like, Rachel Brosnahan certainly is like Big Blue. She could see, not only could she see Big Blue, she could see Big Red. She's like, look, I got a Big really great view.
Oh wait, no, wrong hero.
The great detail on that statue. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. See, I'm not the only one who notices. But anyway, let's get on to the red carpet stuff, shall we? Because we had a ton of stuff. Richard Brosnahan.
Look at him rocking the bow tie. Usually it's Jimmy rocking
first time. The corduroy jacket, that looks great.
Yeah.
Not sure how well that does in the summer season, but love the suit that Nicholas Hoult has got on.
I will say temporarily, sorry, Dan. I love this GIF. Like, I know because we have like, since you're signed in, I'm not. I just this GIF elbow. I'm sorry. This was just so cute. I had to show it. Anyway, we could go back to your thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
It looks great. I love it.
I'm like, I gotta show that because it's so cute.
All good. It's all good. The Shard in Australia means meta. Really? I didn't know that. I did not know that. Pacerland asking, who's the character in the movie you're most interested in seeing other than Superman and Krypto? I, for one, really want to see what they do with Lex Luthor, because the Lex Luthor iteration that we're getting now feels probably the most interesting version that we have ever seen, because Nicholas Hoult is probably look, Gene Hackman, great actor. Kevin Spacey did Lex Luthor as well. Whatever you think about Kevin Spacey's personal life issues, still a great actor. And even Jesse Eisenberg, fantastic actor. He just won an Oscar for a movie. So, excuse me, although I think that was for directing. But anyway, not for directing. No, was it him? Oh, no, it was never mind. He didn't win an Oscar. His movie won an Oscar. But anyway, the point is, Nicholas Hoult might be the best Lex Luthor we've ever seen. And he can be maniacal. he feels like he can be over the top comic booky, but at the same time, it can get
He stole
dark
40 cakes, and that's terrible.
He can really give you like this underlayer of rage which you haven't seen before. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Lex.
I'm excited to see Guy Gardner. Not gonna lie, like this is like truly the first live action Guy Gardner we're getting. So it's like I don't think he appeared in anything else live action. So
no, this is his debut in live action.
This is. I mean, we're getting because the thing is, Hawkgirl. We've gotten her in live action a couple. I'm not saying like that's she sucks. I'm excited for the entire Justice Gang, patent pending. So I'm excited for Mr. Terrific. Like Eddie Gathegi, he deserves another shot after they killed the unkillable mutant. Don't get me wrong. X-Men First Class is a fucking great movie. It is a great movie. That is still some bull fucking shit. All right, I'm still mad. Anyway, but Eddie Gathegi, he deserves another shot as a comic book hero. So I think we're getting it there. And
great in For All Mankind.
Yes. Well, I haven't gotten there yet.
Oh yeah, you're not even in season 3. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we're not. I'm not.
Sucks,
Ed is still somewhat happy. So like we
haven't
gotten to, like the worst parts yet, where like his entire family gets nuked, his house gets nuked, his job gets like everything, and then he's just like
full on depressed. It's like nobody. He's like I'm like, man, we just need something good in Ed's life. They did have actually something really good, and he gets to spend time with his grandchild. Okay, all right, never mind. Okay. Hugo Billy also looking forward to Metamorpho. Yeah. Darwin, who died. Yeah, Darwin was the one. Dude, For All Mankind is honestly probably the best sci-fi show on TV right now. So, yeah. By the way, I know Rachel has rocked a lot of dresses and even those magazine cover really shoots and stuff. I feel like this might take the cake. Like, look at that thing, that wrap dress, and like, holy shit,
I love,
that is
like,
a great
fucking, dress. Nicholas Holt's like fucking baggy suit. Like, it reminds me of the suit that like Marty McFly wore in the end of Back to the Future when he's at he's got that big suit with the pants at his like belly button. It's like that vibe. I like.
Also the engineer, I think, is a great
like
character
that
too.
David is wearing. That's really good too.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen Severance. I can't judge, but I can judge 1.5 seasons of For All Mankind, and it's very good.
For All Mankind is better. Severance also has like 2 seasons, and the fraction of the episodes For All Mankind has had. I mean, again, it's subjective, so you can like Severance more, but I think For All Mankind, run by the greatest showrunner of all time, Ronald D. Moore of Battlestar Galactica, the greatest sci-fi show of all time. So yeah. Anyway, all right. So let's keep on going here because we do have more of their individual shots on the red carpet too. But this here might have been one of the moments of the whole red carpet in London, John, which was James Gunn meeting a superfan who was literally almost just broke down into tears in front of James Gunn, and they had quite the conversation. Like, you could tell how emotional he gets, and they get the photo. He's got the Superman suit already, and yeah, James Gunn, you could tell like he cares. He cares about the fans, like he genuinely does. So I love it. What do you think, John? This was a pretty special, fun meeting to see on the red carpet.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Well, very, very wonderful, and just goes to show how excited people are. Also, is somebody like dressed up as Steve Lombard? Because that's who the guy in the background looks like.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you got Hawkgirl there. He's got the mustache. There's Ultraman. I mean, well, except without the mask, that kind of gives it away, like who's behind it. At least the fan. Howdy, hello, Glimmercast.
Hello.
How are you doing today? Welcome on into the show. If you want to go back and check out the rest of the show, we've been live for a little while, but we still got lots of Superman to talk about. So welcome on in. But dude, this was special. You could see Ultraman kind of like takes his mask off halfway through this. This is like a whole group of fans. I don't think that guy's cosplaying as Steve Lombard. He's just is Steve Lombard in real life with the mustache. So yeah, love it. Absolutely love this. This was a bit of a tear jerker of a reveal, especially when you hear the audio. It's a special moment because this fan clearly is a big believer. He genuinely cares, and he's like, I had a rough time.
all this like EDM music in the background, so
Yeah,
you can't really hear. But
yeah.
it was still very nice. It was still
You have to
very
like wear
nice.
your headphones to kind of like get that. But yeah. Yeah, everybody welcoming Raya into the chat. Hello. The
Yeah, and
Ultraman costume
I
is pretty
agree with
cool.
Jameis O'Neilson. His
Mhm.
fucking cosplay is like the best I've
Yep.
seen so
This
far.
is one of those. Remember that they announced like those Halloween costumes? I think this is better than any Halloween costume you're gonna get at like a party
No,
city. But
that's what cosplayers do. They have like
dude,
$3 and then they create stuff that's better than the stuff in the movies. Like it's
pretty
insane.
insane. I love that costume. I really do. All right. Well, this moment has been, I'm sure, one of several they've already come across with fans who really care about the new cinematic universe and obviously want to go see Superman as soon as they can. So I'm sure they're going to get a chance to do that. All the fans on the red carpet got a chance to do the 30-minute screening of Superman, and then they had a Q&A session. We'll talk about that in a bit as well. But moving on to the other red carpet stuff, you got David Corenswet taking photos as people asking him question, what's your favorite moment, part, or about playing Superman. And James, he's just answering questions rapid fire as he's signing a million autographs. Then we also got to see Rachel Brosnahan doing the same thing. Well, this right here, you can just watch on repeat for quite a while. Again, fantastic costume.
I'm horny, like Jesus.
One of the best, looking outfits for her on this whole tour so far. It's I don't know. I don't have to say it with a negative or horny connotation, John. It's just literally is like she's looking very fashionable. This is a fantastic dress, and it's. I think this one beats out the one where she was the Daily Planet wrap dress. That wasn't a wrap dress. It was just a short cocktail dress. So this one beats that out. I think it's better than what she had on for the Rio de Janeiro one, the purple dress that she had. It was also really nice shimmering dress. Shimmering, if I can get those words out. Yeah, that outfit looks fantastic. And they landed the plane on that one. So there you go. Oh wait, I just said something I shouldn't have said because that has a double meaning that I will not get into. But anyway, she is stunning indeed. Moving on to the next thing. Clois, John, together. And you can see the pairing works. And I think at one point, like David Corenswet turns around and he gives her a kiss on the hand, like, there we go, come on up. And they walk away.
Remember, David, you're married. She's married. You have a kid. Calm down. Okay.
It's very nice indeed. We got M2G in the chat. Yeah, there you go. There's a Gen Alpha word. M2G saying they're not spending that much in Superman marketing. I'm a bit behind. We're used to Marvel marketing. The big thing they've done in marketing is actually show it and have events. The thing is, though, M2G, from what I've heard, they are spending more money on marketing this movie than probably any other superhero movie outside of maybe Avengers Endgame. That's what I mean. You could tell it's not cheap to put on these events. They're going to 7 different cities and then doing like a million other things like the press junkets and all the TV show appearances. It's crazy. It's kind of wild the amount of promotion they're doing. So they are spending a lot of money. It's just they're using a lot of the viral social media marketing, which works really well because obviously we're talking about it. Yeah, she always looks amazing. I don't think I've seen a single like bad outfit that Rachel Brosnahan has had for any of these appearances. Perfect casting. There we go. Probably not until after. Wait, what was that in reference to? Anyway, you know what's getting hot? The temperature. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Caleb. No, they're not. They're not getting. Frankie, calm down. Let's not take it too far. Chivalry is still alive, though. Indeed it is. There are actually a few more photos in this reel here from the account Brosna fan. And you could tell the chemistry is there. I mean, clearly they're like they feel more like best friends on the red carpets and all the interviews. But obviously, the chemistry is there, and you can see in the movie they do a great job. They're both great actors, and the chemistry is the key. That's literally why they did chemistry tests before they cast them. Like they cast David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan together, like not individually. John, remember a long time ago we were talking about like the finalists in the short list. It was Nicholas Hoult had somebody else paired off with him, and David Corenswet had Richard Brosnahan paired off with him. So ultimately, if they cast David, they would have cast Rachel. Not like they wouldn't have broken up the pairing. So yeah, there you go. Exactly. We can all see why Lex is angry, especially when you get to this next one here. Look at him. He's in his villain era right now. Well, yeah, I mean, Henry Cavill. It was also on the red carpet. It's different because Henry Cavill and Amy Adams, are two different people. Like they're not David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan. Also, I don't think they had the same chemistry on screen in the movie. So
They definitely didn't.
Yeah, and maybe it was because of how the movie was written, but like also a lot of people have complained, even people who like Man of Steel, that the chemistry between Lois Lane and Clark Kent was not the best. So
It
clearly
wasn't.
they've
I feel like
improved
I
on
still
that.
feel like Amy Adams was very miscast in the role.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because she's a great actress. It's just like maybe it was the material, maybe it was her not vibing with it. I don't know, but she this is great.
I love the goofy reaction from David Cornsweet too. He becomes like a big kid. Is like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? He doesn't know how to react, and like Nicholas Hoult is just like thinking on his feet. You could tell the charisma is there for both, but like David Cornsweet is a genuinely good person, and also super nerd. So we've got a good one here, guys. Yeah, Lois would continuously question his genius. We didn't get much of that either, to be fair. But not only do they have chemistry here between Lois and Clark, clearly Nicholas Hoult and David Cornsweet love working with each other, and you love to see it. This is a great interaction. I can turn this into a meme. This would be great. All right, moving on. We got a couple of more things from the promotional tour in London. That is the red carpet event. Now, this clip, we don't have the audio here, but he's basically talking about, David Cornsweet is talking about how the process of putting on the suit, it was all these pieces that go together. There's mainly two big pieces, probably the torso, the top half, and then obviously the pants or the boots. And then he's like, look, putting on the cape makes a big difference, but trying it out for the first time, it's, you're a little anxious, but once the whole thing comes together, it really sells it. And, when he walked on set, James Gunn, Nicholas Hoult himself talked about how he had like this just childish grin on his face. He's like, that's Superman. Like we have seen that even with, I think Heath Ledger talked about it back when, Christian Bale would walk on the set as Batman. He's like, that's Batman. Or Tom Hardy said the same thing. So it's just, you can see that they got the costumes.
I mean,
down.
It was writing on the wall because even for Batman movies that didn't happen, they wanted Christian Bale. Remember, like Darren Aronofsky's Batman, he was a name that was considered for the Batman versus Superman movie with like Josh Hartnett as Superman back in like 2004. Christian Bale was considered for that. And I think there might have been one more where Christian Bale might have been maybe like Batman Dark Knight or something like that.
Kate Bosworth was a good Lois, by the way, Steven.
But
not the best, but good. Well, she was okay. Not the best, but anyway, you were saying, John.
But yeah, Christian Bale was like it showed like, yeah, he was the guy. He was like, no matter what, they were gonna get this guy as Batman.
Yeah,
and not just Nolan and everyone else saw it, but like a lot of people fucking saw him as Batman, and just for years, like from like the late 90s to early 2000s.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I don't think Christian Bale was Darren Aronofsky's favorite. I think Joaquin Phoenix was for Batman, which would have been certainly interesting. But I will say, I think it just goes to show how powerful that is when other people see that and not just the movie we got.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the case here. People's reactions are genuinely just of amazement and just wonder, and that's something that we love to see, because that's when it becomes tangible. It becomes real when you get to see, oh, look, that is Superman right there, right? It's elegant. The cape is big. You've got the S on the back again, which wasn't there for Henry Cavill. So, yeah. He said it takes him 3 minutes to get out of the suit. I bet you it does, because these suits are like made in different parts. They're not exactly, I mean, they give you some movement, but the suits aren't necessarily designed to be like, pants, put on your pants and put on a shirt and all of a sudden just tap, hit the cape up and you're good. So absolutely, I think it makes sense. It takes them a little while to get it. Although 3 minutes is not bad. Can you imagine how long it takes? I don't know how. I don't think Colin Farrell has told us how long it takes for him to like get out of the bodysuit. I bet it takes him more than 3 minutes to get out of that bodysuit for the Penguin. But hey, we got a super chat from the Glimmercast, $5 super chat. Thank you so much for your support. Saying, what's your hype level rank for Superman, Fantastic Four, and Jurassic World Rebirth. John, care to give your rankings? Let's say maybe we can do it out of 10, or if you want to rank them, tell us where you think the three stand.
I did it like I remember doing it the other day, but you probably weren't here for that. So, for Superman, the thing we're talking about right now, I would say that's like the closest you can, like it would be like 9.75. I don't want to give it like a perfect 10 because I still expect like maybe it could stink. So like maybe like a 9.5. Like it's as close to a 10 as you could possibly, maybe even a 10, but like 9.5, 10. And then for Fantastic Four, I'd give it like a 7. Like I think there are a lot of aspects I don't like that I'm not hyped for. Like I don't like the look of Galactus from what we saw of him. As I said, the popcorn bucket looks way better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not excited for Pedro and Vanessa Kirby as their respective characters. It does kind of look like standard Marvel fare, which isn't bad. Like here's the thing. What are we talking about? Are we talking about post Endgame standard Marvel fare or like phase 1 standard Marvel fare? Because if we're getting phase 1 standard Marvel fare, that's pretty fucking good. If we're getting post Endgame, then it's gonna suck. So I hope we're getting like phase 1, phase 2 standard Marvel fare, which is pretty good. Not the greatest, but still pretty good. So, like phase 2, that's like my hope. Like phase 2 when it was like at the peak, but it still like had some stinkers in there. So yeah, I think I hope that that's what we're getting. But I am excited to see Paul Walter as man. I'm excited to see Johnny Storm and the Thing dynamic. I'm excited. I like the retrofuturism angle, even though I hope we get more of that feel because oh hey Pedro, don't actually try to act or anything, just be you. And it's just like, okay, that's a little not great. So I'm still excited for it, but there's a couple things that are a little bit irksome to me. They somehow Galactus returned anyway. And then Jurassic World Rebirth 0. I don't care. I'm not gonna see. The only way I would see that movie is like if I walk in and like see the Odyssey trailer, and then I sit in the nice Dolby seats, and then I fall asleep. I could use a good nap in those.
Well, and thank you, Glimmercast, again for bringing up this topic. I personally think for me, Superman is my most anticipated. The hype level is the highest. Then Fantastic Four, because especially that last trailer that we got, and then that 30-second ad spot where he's like, "I don't tell you how to fly your ship. You don't tell me how to fight sexy aliens." I'm like, I love that line. And so I want to see more of that. I think the Thing looks really nice, and Johnny Storm, obviously. And I want to see obviously how it all ties together into Avengers Doomsday, because Kevin Feige has said it's going to directly lead us into the events of that movie. And then Jurassic World Rebirth, simply because I think is going to be the least, like the most inferior movie of the three in terms of just the quality, and the reviews already kind of tell you that. So Jurassic World for me is the lowest of the three. But speaking of memberships, Glimmercast, yeah, we are actually looking to launch the memberships in time for next week's Superman release. We will have memberships available. We're going to launch the Discord server. I've started the work in the background, so keep an eye out. We also have a special editorial video coming out where we talk about how James Gunn is making Superman feel more relatable. In fact, that's one of the things James Gunn talked about in one of the press junket interviews, about how he's trying to make the Superman feel more, relatable to the average person, not like a godlike being that he is. And obviously, like, the suit is a part of it. David Corenswet, like the whole reason why we have trunks, he mentioned, was because of that too. So, but yeah, keep an eye out for that on the channel. We will bring that up probably early next week, but they are coming. The memberships are, that is. Somebody's dragging PLO to go see Jurassic World, which is fair. I'm gonna have to go see it so that we can talk about it, because John isn't seeing it and Liz doesn't come on the show till next week. So I might go end up seeing Jurassic World myself. So yeah, more Mr. Terrific. I hope we get a lot more of him, because what we have seen so far from him, it's already pretty gosh darn good. I would like to see him smile more, but so far we haven't seen a ton of that. But
wow,
like one of the best.
Dan, okay.
What? I genuinely
common criticism of Man of Steel. He doesn't smile enough.
I did not have that criticism for Man of Steel.
I know, but that's kind of ironic,
Yeah. Oh, okay. So bring on Tron Ares, Sisu 2, and Now You See Me 3. Wait, what do you mean by none of the above, Monique? Did I miss something? Or you're talking about? So you're not hyped for Super? I know you're hyped for Superman, right? Thank you, Glimmercast. We are excited about those as well. How am I a hypocrite, Caleb? How am I a hypocrite? I don't know. But I love it. One of the best lines from the marketing for Superman has been Mr. Terrific. You brought that dog, man. Like John likes to quote that a million times. That's gonna end up in the new DCU daily intro. So, I hope we get a Mr. Terrific spinoff with the Terrifics, because genuinely that's one of those things where I think, John, of all the things that are possible as spinoffs out of the Superman movie, Terrifics probably holds the one of the highest potential. In terms of the kind of story he could tell, the other characters he can bring in. Eddie Kategi has the charisma to pull that off, to be a lead in his own movie or TV show. And, quite frankly, we have never seen that in a big movie with the Hollywood blockbuster budget, like 100 million plus. And what we got in the Arrowverse doesn't really count. So I would love to see Mr. Terrific get his own, either movie or like a big budget HBO TV show. Like, for example, coming out of the first Suicide Squad movie, clearly Harley Quinn and then Will Smith's Deadshot, they were the breakout stars. I hope that Mr. Terrific comes out of this movie looking like somebody who can carry his own film or his own TV show. I genuinely hope for that. His character story is. I've heard the same about him and Hawkgirl. I mean, Isabella Merced said she has some demons to work out. She's a very angry young lady. So which is in line with her story, like her origin story. So. But yeah, I think Mr. Terrific, like John, you were speculating like months ago that Mr. Terrific is probably gonna go get away from the corporate era of superheroes. Probably gonna be the most inspired by the goodness and the moral compass of Superman, which we can't wait to see how that plays in the movie. Does he sound like Robert Downey Jr. Tropic Thunder?
I haven't seen that. I don't know.
I did see a couple of clips of recently that came up on YouTube of Robert Downey Jr. is his acting, man. It's just, I can't believe the man didn't get any awards for that. Like, I know, it's you can't make that movie today, but holy cow, that's one of the iconic roles in Hollywood history. Clearly is. But yeah, okay, let's keep on going here. We are almost done. We're almost across the finish line, and we do have one more super chat I wanted to bring in the show before we finish up. But I thought this is a great moment here. David Corenswet, doing a drive-by hello on the red carpet, saying hello, darling, on the way by, and completely distracts Rachel Brosnahan as she's about to answer a question for Deadline. Also, she's looking gorgeous, of course, more up close than I guess what we got before with the red carpet shots. John, care to comment?
Nice to see.
I love how you're just completely. You're like, I am not gonna address this today at all, which makes you. Which, you know what? Something. If it's not going on up here, John, something is going on somewhere else. But anyway,
I'm flaccid right now. I don't know what you're talking about.
One of the most gorgeous actresses to play Lois. She looks super. She does look super. All right,
possibly let's even fantastic.
Yeah. Keep it cool, John. Keep it cool down there.
I am keeping it cool. Do you want to fucking see? I will fucking get up and flash the camera right now. God damn. Jesus Christ, y'all need to calm down.
We need this channel to survive until the movie comes out.
Jesus. God damn. I'm just saying. I can turn it off. I don't have to be gross all the time. I'm just saying, it's a cute clip. It's very cute. It's just again, David. You're married. Remember that. Just she's married. Just saying.
Yeah, nobody wants to be traumatized.
That's for the OnlyFans when we get there.
That's where you actually make the choice to be traumatized, not just accidentally get traumatized. No need to crash out, Enterprising says, John.
I'm just keep saying. It cool. Y'all need to calm down. I'm not gross all the time. I could be a mature boy if I need to be. I'm just saying. Pretty actresses outside of that, all right. This is on the internet.
I love
forever,
Monique's comment though.
I gotta watch out what I do and say.
I know. It's if it's on the internet, it's gonna live forever. But yeah, I like what Monique is saying. That I do appreciate the idea that she's the stylists that are addressing her for these red carpets.
She doesn't do fake
gotta,
tans and
exactly
do her like all this other shit. It's like I don't know. It's just like some women can rock the like a lot of makeup and like all that shit, like cool. But it's just like I see a lot of like very beautiful women that are more naturally beautiful, like with minimal makeup, and they
Mhm.
over like for instance, I hate to sound mean, and you do however you do your body, however you want to do your body. Like Haley Steinfeld, for instance, she is a very beautiful woman, but yet
Mhm.
she feels the need to like way over accentuate the makeup and all this other shit. It's like
Yeah.
you don't need to do that. You're a very beautiful woman. You don't need to like overdo the makeup. But obviously, if you want to overdo the makeup, fuck my opinion. I'm just a gross nerd on the internet talking about Superman all day. So, you do you. I'm just as a man who sees that, I'm just saying you don't need to do that.
No, I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. I think, it's when you're naturally beautiful, you don't need to do too much to accentuate it. But yeah, I mean, hey, Rachel Brosnahan, David Corenswet, and
I
Nicholas
do
Hoult
not have an
all looking
OnlyFans. That was a
gorgeous on
joke,
the red carpet.
Jalen. Calm down.
That was a joke. Yeah, that was a joke. Hey, Glimmercast is seeing Jurassic World tomorrow. Let us know what you thought about the movie. We will be doing a live show tomorrow, so I'm sure we can get your review in there. And I know a couple of other folks in the chat are also seeing Jurassic World this week. I personally will try to get to it over the weekend. Yeah, I love the fashion sense that they're exuding at every red carpet event, and we are not even halfway through the world tour yet. This was just stop number 3 out of 7. They still have Los Angeles. Well, they still have Paris, LA, New York, and Beijing to go. So, holy cow. But anyway, John, we do have this super chat from Just Some Geeky Guy earlier. I want to make sure we didn't skip it. So
No,
let's talk about.
I did reference this.
Oh,
I think
did
this
you?
was
Okay.
before you came in. So.
Oh, well, okay. Well, all right. Well, thank you again, Just Some Geeky Guy, for the super chat from earlier. Dude, yeah, I'd love to see Henry Cavill back in a Crisis on Infinite Earth sort of a crossover. I think that would be great. But yeah, Jalen Harris has already seen Jurassic World. That's awesome, man. Jalen, get in the comments. Tell us what you thought about it. We would love to bring that into the show when we talk about the movie later this week. But yeah, I know, Ron. They're not coming to Toronto. It is unfortunate, but you know what though? They look great in London. Sorry, I don't know what else to tell you. I'm sure they're going to come to Toronto next time because obviously TIFF is a big film festival. It doesn't line up with the release schedule for this movie, but I'm sure they'll be hitting up Toronto in the future. And I'm sure the marketing is still going on, right? Like they've got stuff in India, they've got stuff in Australia, and of course Canada's right there. Like it's right up here. Like we're neighbors. We're neighbors. So. To everyone that's going to see Jurassic World, bless your hearts. Yeah, thank you, Jalen. Drop your comments down below. We've got a Q&A session on Friday, so we are already collecting the comments. So, like, if you drop your comment down in this show, then we would be able to bring that in for Friday. And it's of course 4th of July on Friday here, so it's going to be a special show where we will be doing 5 reasons why Superman will succeed and 5 reasons why Superman will fail. John and I will both share our own 5 and 5 reasons. For both the good and the bad of the movie potentially, and we'll do a fan casting for James Bond. So we've got both of those things, and of course the Q&A session that we do every week. So, John, let's kind of wrap the show up here, shall we? Swag fan asking though, will James Gunn cast a Vicky Vale? Maybe eventually. I just don't. I mean, maybe we'll see a Vicky Vale in the new Batman: Brave and the Bold. Maybe that's the direction they go. That's the thing, right? Like in the comics, like Superman always has Lois Lane. And Peter Parker has MJ, Gwen, Stacy, but like with Batman, it feels
He's
kind of like it
had
varies.
Talia, Catwoman, Vicky Vale, Julie Madison, Silver St. Clair, and God knows how many others. So yeah, because Batman isn't supposed to be happy.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, obviously we got the Catwoman thing going in the Batman, so I don't know if that's going to continue for Robert Pattinson's character, but yeah, we'll have to just wait and see if we get Vicky Vale. It's been literally decades since we have seen her in a live action movie. Gilmercast considered seeing Jurassic World tonight, but I'd rather ring in the holiday weekend with some Dolby Dinos. There you go. All right, go see it in the Dolby theater. That's always the better way to go. Get the best sound, the best picture. It is a beautiful thing, Pacerland. The fact that we're talking about DC the way that we are, and that's what we're here for. That is what we're here for. To talk about DC, to celebrate, DC movies, DC studios, and everything they're doing, and the world of movies in general, the larger Also Curious channel. Of course, if you guys are here watching, Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're new, hit that like button if you have been enjoying the show, and hit the notification bell, because that way you'll know when we go live. Tomorrow, like I said, we are doing another live show, and we'll talk about any other London event coverage that we got from Superman. And then, of course, we'll have the latest movie news. We'll talk a little more Jurassic World, and we'll look ahead to the weekend. And it's a holiday weekend in the US, 4th of July, but we will still have a show on 4th of July. So on Friday, you'll be able to check us out. John and I will be doing a James Bond fan casting now that we got Denis Villeneuve as a director. We'll do our 5 reasons why Superman will succeed and 5 reasons why Superman will fail. So if you guys want to have your input on that, drop your comments down below, and we'll also have a Q&A session. So that's where we can bring your comments in and talk about those. We already have a few picked out, so we can just add them into it. So I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. But in the meantime, guys, I know a lot of you guys are saying you got your tickets for IMAX, for Regal RPX, for Dolby. Like, how are you seeing Superman? Let us know in the comments. Where are you going to go see it? When are you going to go see it? How many times are you going to go see it? Let's, see if we can make this movie a big success, because that's what we're all here for. We're here to celebrate DC and, of course, the world of movies in general. So, John, with that,
there it is.
Oh, look at me. I'm in the reflection. But
Yes.
July 11th. Wait, so are you going to see it like twice the same week? You're going to go see it?
Okay, so I didn't know what this was, but I think since the Prime thing isn't available through AMC, it recognized that, okay, you're technically going to see a movie at this location, but
it doesn't give you the details
information on it
because
because
it's
it's
Fandango.
not AMC, it's through Fandango and Amazon.
Right.
And I have the email, this is your ticket from Fandango, all that
There you
stuff.
go.
So
yeah, Enterprising is seeing it on the 10th. Ron is seeing it on the 12th. And remember, for next week's schedule, so I guess this is a good point to wrap it up then. For next week's show schedule, on Monday, we're going to be looking at the reviews of the movie that come out, because that's when the review embargo drops. Then on Tuesday, John, myself, Liz... that was a sneeze coming. It's not here yet. John, myself, Liz... I was like, I had to go quiet for a second. John, myself, Liz, and Bridget, we're all seeing Superman with the Prime early screenings on Tuesday. So we'll do a spoiler-free review and long conversation on Tuesday. Then Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to continue the conversation. We're going to, obviously do all the coverage for the press and the Rotten Tomatoes audience score. We'll also break down more of our review, but it's still trying to keep it spoiler-free until Friday, when we will have pretty much almost the entire show might be just doing a open spoiler conversation around Superman, just talking about it and all the spoilers and just giving you guys a full review with all the details. So if you guys are like Ron is seeing the movie on the 12th, so I would advise that the Friday show, once we get past the news and we start talking about other Hollywood news, make sure you if you don't want to have the movie spoiled for yourself, you can always pause the show and come back and check it out after. Nico seeing the movie on July 9th. I know that's when it comes out in France, right? So I don't know where you are based, Nico, but good on you, man. Go see it on July 9th. It comes out a bit early there. Frankie's saying I'm gonna go dark for a week until I watch it on Saturday. Yeah. Well, look, we're not gonna spoil it for you until Friday. We're gonna be very careful to not do any spoilery, discussions around Superman until the Friday show. Obviously, when it comes down to spoilers, the only things that we really count as spoilers are stuff that the marketing campaign and the trailers haven't already told us. So just know that. I'm just giving you guys a heads up. If we talk about the fact that Bradley Cooper is Jor-El, we know that already, right? That's not a spoiler. But if there is something that we find out having seen the movie that we don't already know, that wasn't in the marketing, that we won't reveal until Friday. So yeah, guys, as Enterprising is saying, keep up the hope, don't lose it. As Ron would say, fight for justice. And as Superman and James Gunn would say, guys, thank you, John, for a fantastic show. And we'll see you tomorrow. Until then, don't forget to look up.